today. We can be the land of a hypnotizing God. We can be the land of a hypnotizing God. We can be the land of a hypnotizing God. We can be the land of anything. We can be the land of a hypnotizing God. We can be the land of a hypnotizing God. We can be the land of a hypnotizing God. We can be the land of anything. Subject for today.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another Dare Chat. My name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short. Some people still say Daramouthe, and I'm traumatized. But that won't stop me. That won't stop me. Anyway, I am here with the lovable and somehow most well-known person because of course Tomby. Tommy's really friendly out to many different people, and of course he's very helpful with technical stuff. But anyway, welcome the wonderful Steel Leg. How are you, sir?
Pretty good.
Mm. Yeah, well, it's funny because on your Twitter X it's Steel Leg, but on your YouTube it's Steel Leg of History, and
Yeah,
I'm
we
just like,
had to find a way to fit it, and Twitter didn't want to let me put the full amount.
yeah, it sucks when it only gives you so many, and you're just like, let me put it all there. Because I know I know some places have a character limit, like you
Yeah.
can only put so many characters and stuff, but it is what it is. But I think you you do just gaming, is it, for whatever you do? But
For
I
now,
yeah.
I'm using it basically to learn what
Mm,
I need to do, and as I mentioned it one time to Dan and Beardo, and Dan's like, "That's a good way to basically learn the ropes instead of
mm,
waiting till you know everything, everything's
mm,
perfect.
mm,
Just start.
yeah.
Then when you finally get ready, you
Mm.
be able to do what you need to do."
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially with YouTube, where it feels like it's a sea amongst others, and you're trying to get the notice. So of course, it's usually just like wait until the algorithm picks you up, but that's a whole nother ball game. But no, it's a very interesting place to try at least, and of course, it's the most well known. But like I said, it's a sea in itself. So usually, some people may get a hit, and some people won't. But it is what
Oh
it is.
yeah.
I don't. I treat it like a platform as it is, because I stream to both Rumble and YouTube, but I'm not very much on my YouTube side. But that's okay because I've met a lot of amazing people, and of course I'm getting to meet you today,
Oh yeah.
of all. And again, like I said, it was through because you're sort of um, more associated with Tomby and his crew, so to speak. Because I know they've reposted you and
Oh
retweeted you and
yeah.
all
I
that stuff.
appreciate all the help he's done for me.
Have you ever been on his show, the Chinwag, before?
No, not yet.
Man, I was like, well, they keep reposting you. I thought they would brought you on already. It's like,
I'm the
come on,
type of person like when I get asked, that's when I go. I just don't push things because I
yeah,
feel like I'm begging when I do, so I don't
yeah,
ask.
yeah. That's understandable. I mean, I when I was starting to do this thing, I really didn't ask for likes or whatever because
Yeah.
everyone does it. You already hear the mantra 1,000 times over. Share, like, and subscribe, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I get it, I get it. And then you're kind of like, well, if I want, the people have more people on, I kind of have to be seen more. So it's sort of like, I wouldn't say choosing between two evils, but it's sort of like an understanding that yes, I do have to play the game a little bit, but
Yeah.
it is going towards the thing I want to go towards rather than just any other many content creators who like share, like, and subscribe, and they do this wild thing with a
Oh
bunch of
yeah.
stuff
I didn't
after.
realize how well my name's gotten because I been in so many chats that my name's gone well known. It's like
Yeah.
I didn't realize I've been so many chats that people have gotten to know my name without me realizing they've gotten to know my name. It's like
Yeah.
I didn't realize I've been that talkative.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, you've had a lot of different connections with not only with Tommy, but I'm pretty sure you've probably met Jack Tarlad
Yeah.
and so many others. Yarny, obviously, Yarny,
Yeah, I've
lovely
known her
lady.
since I've known Adam Crickler when he was
Oh,
on Tim Pool.
oh yeah, wow. Have you ever gone back to watch any just on his own for Adam
Yeah,
Krigler?
I've known Adam since then, and I've been on Adam's chat since then. Adam knew me since when I was unable to walk for almost 8 years, 6 months,
Wow.
and then he got me out of that depression and
Mm.
kept telling me basically his words: "Stop being a whiny little bitch, and you're gonna walk again." And he's brutally honest asshole. That's his
Yeah.
word.
Well,
So
yeah, that is
he's
brutal. Yeah.
yeah, he won't sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
And that's why I like him. And
Mm.
he's always been there for me. That's why I got a display of my pug in my room where he it's the last picture I took of my pug when
Mm.
before I couldn't get any more of his coffee, and it's my dog sitting next to a 5 pound bag of his coffee next to one
Mm.
of his mugs.
Mm.
My dog always had to be there whenever I got the coffee in, and I
Mm.
got that picture. And that's my very last picture of that stuff.
Oh wow. Now, what kind of what I mean for coffee? What is your preferred choice of it? Like dark
I
or?
don't drink coffee, I cook with it. So
Oh.
my family, my sister, my dad, they all like it. I like to cook with it, which pisses off the Brits, but I could care less. I like the taste of it as
Yeah.
a rub, but
Oh,
they
really?
like to drink it.
It like a rub on meat or
Yeah, dry
what?
rub.
Really? I didn't know you could do that with coffee
No,
beans.
I didn't either. I just tried it one day to see how it would taste because I'm a
Uh,
picky eater. I'm the
right.
prop child of the family,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to see how it would taste, how it would turn out, and
Mm.
you add it with some herbs and some seasonings, and it surprisingly it actually turned out well. And
Mm.
I actually came up one time with a bunch of seasonings for some chicken, and that actually turned out well enough that my
Yeah.
family was shocked as hell that I liked it, and I came up with it, and
Nice.
so they got to the point they kept bugging me every time they came to visit to make it. I was like, crap. To the point that I had to literally make a whole container of it, and it's like, you guys cook it now because I made
Yeah.
extra for you to cook it when I'm not around.
Yeah. No, that's pretty awesome though, because yeah, I mean, people cook with a lot of different things, right? I mean, they
Hmm.
cook a lot of different greens. Some are, people already make a fuss about pineapple on pizza. I mean, at a certain point, but coffee, using coffee as a
It's
dry
used in
rub,
cake and ice cream, so I figured why not?
yeah. That's true. Yeah, there's coffee cake, obviously, and then there's like I think mocha. I've seen mocha
Yeah,
ice cream. Yeah, not my cup of tea though, because I'm not
no.
really. That's sort of like if I don't like coffee to drink, then why would I like coffee and ice
Oh
cream?
yeah, I love sending pictures online to Tommy and Smooth and all the Brits. Like, hey, here's a marshmallow fluff, and they're like, "You damn Americans are disgusting." It's like, well, we like marshmallow fluff.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, because I remember, I don't think my family got those containers, but it's the marshmallow puff sort of thing,
Yeah,
marshmallow fluff, and I don't remember what they use it for. I mean, sometimes you probably use it as a substitute for whipped cream,
yeah,
like,
and you can also make sandwiches with it. My brother and I would put half would be marshmallow fluff and the other be peanut butter.
oh,
It's
oh,
disgusting to some, but we liked it.
okay. Well, it's marshmallow. It's not like mayonnaise and peanut butter.
No,
That would, oh,
got that
oh,
be wrong.
oh, that would be very wrong. Oh goodness, just thinking about it makes me
But hey,
sick.
if you like it, you like it. I used to eat just mustard and bread when I was little. It was the easiest sandwich my mom had to make for school.
That's understandable. Yeah, I remember. It was either peanut butter or jelly. I like you. I'm a picky eater. Like I don't like lima beans, right?
Oh, I had to eat a lot of that because my grandfather was in World War II, so he had
Yeah.
60 acres and he had a little garden next to his house, and he had lima beans. So
Ugh.
when a war vet tells you, you eat that, you eat it.
I believe you. What was there was another one. Oh, I used to not like artichoke before, but there was weird things. I went to a pizza place. I can't remember where, and they had the ability to put artichoke on top of your pizza, or it was part of a combo or whatever. And so I went to try. I was like, sure, why not? And it's not that bad, to be honest, to have artichoke on your
If it's
pizza.
cooked right, it's good.
Yeah, if it's good, great. I've heard if you cook it wrong, it's
Oh, it's very vile.
yeah, it's very vile. But that's an interesting thing is to have this like hardened, item to be cooked, and you could have this
Yeah, it's just
wonderful
like
meal with
most
that.
meat. If it's tough as hell, but if it's cooked right and properly done, it'd be tender, fork tender.
Mm. Yeah, I don't. What is it? I usually get cheap cuts because I'm a
Yeah.
poor person.
Sometimes cheap cuts is the best cuts to get. My grandmother, if you brought anything that was pre-made into her house, she would curse you out in German, and then she'd throw it in the trash. Everything was scratch made.
Wow, that's incredible. So you've had family that's different language wise, like
Yeah,
German and
German, Mexican,
mhm.
Irish, French. Recently, about a year or so ago, we found documents proving that our last ancestor was the very last bodyguard to the last Tsar of Russia,
Ooh, wow.
and we were given a letter. He was basically our ancestors here were given a letter saying, "You ever show back up to Russia, y'all gonna be dead."
Jeez. Oh man, I hope it doesn't stand.
I doubt it, but I ain't taking the chance.
That's true. We never
It's
for
Russia, so
Yeah, we never forget. Get out. That's awful, man. That's
every
jeez.
ancestor we had that was instilled in Russia was sent to the gulag.
Oh wow, jeez.
So I got no family left there.
Wow. That's rough. Oh man, but yeah, that's interesting. I know people do like the what is it, the 23andMe,
Yeah.
that sort of thing where they go and find out, and they're like doing percentages and all this stuff.
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, you're lucky to be here. Is basically
Oh
what
yeah.
that stands for, because I imagine, like you said, that family over in Russia, majority of it is in a gulag, and you could have been on that side of the family where you ended up in
Oh
that.
yeah.
That's never the fun thing. But it's interesting to kind of go back over that. I know what is it? I know there's probably some German, maybe some Irish, but beyond that, I'm not too sure. Not really. I have maybe an aunt who was adopted from South Korea from a long, long time ago. But that's pretty much it on anything on my side of family of sort of outside the scope.
Yeah.
Uh, I have a sibling who has adopted some kids going through the adoption agency and whatnot, right? And those have their own stories. But yeah, uh, it was it was an interesting time because these kids, certainly not going to spill any more than that, but these kids were children of someone who was very irresponsible and sort of I think it was they were sort of on drugs at the time. So I'm not sure which one was which, but one of the kids had, at least when they first arrived, one of them supposedly had fentanyl
Yeah.
in the so how that goes.
Oh
but
yeah.
but yeah, it was such a strange time, but they're better now. Of course, they're my sibling and their spouse are wanting to adopt them, but it's the process is
Oh yeah.
it's easier to go outside the country than inside the country for adopting, and I find that the weirdest thing is like, why wouldn't you want it to be an easier, not like an easy process like anyone could do, right? Like, you
Yeah.
want to have um, a barrier of entry, I think, or like steps to the ladder.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise you get those stories. Like, I think there was one story I saw where it was these. I don't know if it's Texas, somewhere in Texas or Arizona, but these two gay guys had,
Oh
um,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, oh yeah. I knew about that one. That was horrific what they did to a kid.
yeah. Well, I think it was two, wasn't it? I thought it was more than just one.
I thought it was just one, but it might have been two.
Yeah, because that was a long time ago. But yeah, that's you may get people like that. It's kind of, you can't read people's thoughts, so there's no way of. But there again, you do want some uh, barrier to kind of like people who want to, but it still sucks because it's a lot of money. Sometimes some states will, I don't know what they call it, but they will do everything in their power to try to keep the kids with the parents, or if the parent gets clean like that,
Yeah.
they'll try to work and keep the parents with the kids, which is understandable, right?
Oh yeah.
If a parent really is
Yeah, the
serious.
kid parents able to clean up, get back, they should have a chance to
Mm,
reform.
mm,
But if they are such destructiveness, then no, they shouldn't be anywhere near the kid. Because my oldest niece, who's the mother of my great nephew, her parents, they're no longer with us. But
mm,
yeah, the way they went is horrific. But
mm,
she was a problem child at first.
mm,
And then she became the kid I knew she could always be. So
mm,
I'm glad she is what she is. She's a good kid, good young lady.
mm.
She was a problem child when she became a teenager, but
Yeah.
I always when I told her one day, I'm glad you became the person I always knew you could be, she actually
Mm,
teared up because that's the words she wanted to hear from me because for some reason she always looked up to me.
mm.
And she actually remembers the time that I took her to Olive Garden
Oh
for her
wow.
birthday and
Mm,
did a little birthday dinner, birthday cake, and all that. And she brings that up every so often how did that for her, and
mm,
it's just me and her, no one else.
mm,
And she was like, I think 10 or 12 when I did that, and I'm 40. I think I'm 45 now, but she was in her early 20s when she was talking about it,
mm.
and she was like all proud of it. It's like, wow, they wasn't expecting her to be remembering that memory. It's like that was that long ago, and you still remember that.
Yeah.
I remember it, but it's like I didn't think it was that special of a memory for her, but for some
Yeah.
reason it was, and she held on to it.
Yeah. It
And I'm
goes to
glad she turned out to be the way she is.
yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, because you always can get that kid you aren't sure of, especially if they've been through the system a bit, or abuse.
Yeah.
Abuse involved. There's always that thing too, but it goes to show you that um, may not being a parent, but in that regard, that even the littlest things you may think are not full of meaning, like the small stuff,
Oh yeah.
you can realize down the road that those do have big impacts, because just like you described it, like it's not um, you may have looked back on it fondly, but you didn't think it would have such a big impact. And I think a lot of people kind of forget that, maybe throughout their life, or maybe they're just not thinking about it because we all have stuff to do, right? You work a
Oh yeah.
job, you do this, you do that, you're uh, whatever, a thousand different things, and it's the little things that kind of get forgotten a bit, because everyone wants to go for the big moment, or they want the big something, but the little things count too. It's like holding a door open, or picking something up off the ground, or something like that. There's always a little something can count for more, and I'm always surprised that, like you said with her, of how something so little can mean so much. And I think that should be, hopefully it's appreciated more by many others, because otherwise you may miss it. You may miss the what's the saying? You may miss stopping to smell the roses sort of moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can still remember how the very first time my little niece Reese saw me come into the house for the first time walking, because her entire life, for I think she was 10 years old or 11 years, no, 11, she'd never seen me walk. She was
Mm,
always seeing me on crutches,
mm,
wheelchair,
mm,
because I spent 8 years and 6 months on crutches.
yeah.
So, oh no, yeah, she was 8 at the time, or
Mm,
9. Yeah, it's been so long, it's hard to keep track of the time.
yeah.
But yeah, she was an infant when I was carrying her, was
Mm,
leaving her room as they were setting it up. A
mm,
fluke accident. I just stepped on a power cord, got stuck between the treads of my shoe, of
mm,
all things,
mm,
and I started going down.
mm,
And by the grace of God or something, because I'm going straight down towards it, the rocking
mm,
chair, with
mm.
her in front of me. I
Ah,
don't know what happened, but something grabbed me and flipped me around
yeah,
because I was no way I was going to flip.
yeah.
So something made me turn around and face the opposite direction because if I hadn't flipped,
Ah,
she would have been crushed.
ah,
But yeah, my mom had to help me get me out of that chair because my prosthetic leg, tip of
Mm.
it, I should say, the opening was pushed right into the side of my knee. My
Ah.
stump went from being where the Pillow Boy commercials, where you touch that thing in the belly, it would giggle, went
Yeah.
from being you touch the tip of my stump and make me giggle to
Yeah.
me gonna punch you in the face.
Ah.
So yeah, it went from being hyper sensitive to me giggling to me
Mm.
want to knock you out if you touched it.
Wow.
So I couldn't
That's
walk and my leg had gotten so bad. My physical therapist was like, "You're gonna have to re-amputate your leg. You're never gonna
ah.
walk again."
Ah.
My leg had deteriorated that badly, and
Oh
then
no.
I tore some tendons, stretched something, ripped something or another in my knee.
Mm.
Then one day my pug decided he wasn't done eating, pulled his dish out where I couldn't see in the middle of my floor. I stepped on it with one of my crutches, and I went straight down, snapped my crutch right in half, and shattered half my knee.
Ah.
But all those injuries
Mm.
were good things because my leg became more flexible,
Mm.
better than it ever was, because I never could fully bend my knee or straighten
Mm.
my leg.
Mm.
That's before the injuries.
Right.
So I was able to walk in. Of course, then my physical therapist about slapped me in the back of the head because I tried to walk into the hospital
Yeah.
on my very first day with my new prosthetic
Yeah.
without my crutches yet. And
Mm.
she's like, you know damn well better.
Yeah.
And 3 months after physical therapy started, I had already regained the ability to walk again with the leg faster than she expected.
Nice.
She thought I was going to go from crutches to a cane
Mm.
to a walker to crutches to a walker to a cane.
Mm.
I went straight from crutches to nothing.
Wow. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, because I mean, she's fall down and you get better.
Yeah, it's
Goodness gracious.
surprising it actually undid whatever damage my birth did to my leg to restrict it from fully straightening and fully bending, undid
Mm.
the damage.
Wow.
So my
So,
niece, in a way, she was because one night at dinner she drew a picture and it showed me standing with two legs, something she'd never seen. I could
mm,
never find the picture because it got misplaced, and
ugh,
but I still remember the picture
mm,
because I'll never forget it. But something she'd never seen. But she's like, "Uncle, you will walk again." I was like, "Oh," and it's like that hit me hard, and but somehow that just motivated me to even want to walk again.
yeah,
I was like, well, something's gonna have to happen for me to change. But I guess it was her telling my damn pug to move his dish into the middle of my floor and caused me to massive amount of pain.
yeah,
But yeah, it was a good thing. And then of course, then I had my knee surgery, which
yeah.
ended up screwing my leg up and then causing me to lose the ability to walk again for about 3 months
Jeez.
and put me into a massive depression that drunk 3PO pulled me out of.
Mm-hmm.
And that almost ended up badly because I was Minecraft
Yeah.
because of it. But luckily,
Mm,
he pulled me out because he saw it, and that's why I got his pirate shirt from his last pirate shirt he has,
yeah.
and I put that onto my leg and did a little video thanking him,
No.
him and
Wow.
Odin.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. It. Now. It, how did you lose your leg? Because
Uh,
you have.
umbilical cord about my thigh. It's to say thigh's about right here.
Mm,
So about right here, the it wrapped around there, and then it started shrinking to the
mm,
point that the main bone in your leg only
mm,
developed. And then I had like a slit right here
mm,
where for some reason the skin had a slit,
mm.
which it looked like something that is a little graphic, but you can
Yeah.
imagine what it looked like.
Mm,
And then just a stump, no ankle
mm,
bones at all. So the foot had nothing to connect
mm,
itself to the main bone.
mm,
So it was just basically flopping around with
mm,
nothing but tissue and tendons.
mm,
And then the main big toe, second toe, and then the
mm,
rest were stubs.
mm. Wow.
So
So
they
it's.
amputated and kept the heel, turned it
Mm.
into my stump, and fused the bone.
Oh, okay. Well,
If
yeah,
they didn't,
that's
I would have been screwed because the bone would have grew faster than the skin.
oh, that sucks. So it's a birth defect and all that stuff. It's just that's something you can't really you
No,
know.
but it being disabled in a way kind of teaches you to judge people based on how they act, not by the way they looked. So I
Yeah.
love getting judged based on how I looked and not how I act. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Look at that guy. He can't run any faster.
No, but
Um,
I can throw my leg at you, and I
it's
got pretty good at it. I can't throw a baseball for crap, but I can throw a leg precision.
you just I
I'm
got
not
good
kidding. Yeah.
I got good target practice, kid. Just watch. Just
Oh
watch me.
yeah.
you I could just see that. That's hilarious. Oh man. Yeah, cuz I mean, I've had I as a as a kid I had an issue with flat feet, and obviously was you're just born with it, right? Some
Yeah.
stuff you're born with, but so I can't remember the age, but I did have to go in and get surgery, and so what I remember happened was is that they told me they had to put a calcium deposit underneath my
Hmm.
ankle, and then uh, some with my Achilles tendons, lengthen my Achilles tendons or whatever it was, and then the scars are still there, but they've grown over time, and so you kind of barely
Yeah.
see them. But it was sort of like there was a long time where after the surgery I was like in these casts. They have like the long thing on the
Yeah.
sides, they keep up down, and you kind of wrap and have that cast over. And I think I was in a cast too, but I was in these cast situation where it'd be like my foot, like foot stumps, whatever you call them.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how long I was in them. I had to take physical therapy after it and all that stuff. But once they were off, once I had gotten them off and I was allowed to walk on my own feet, it was a weird feeling.
Oh yeah. Same thing. When I learned how to walk, they had put like braces on me and a waist thing
Mm,
at first, but they realized soon that I didn't like it, and they took
mm,
that off. And then once they gave me that leg, I didn't stop, and I kept moving. One
yeah,
bad thing is if you pissed me off when I was little, I was quick to pop the leg off and stand there and hold it like a baseball bat. So they
yeah.
learned it was the worst thing to give a little kid growing up who had a very short temper a prosthetic leg that he used as a baseball bat. I might,
Batters up.
yep, I might not have been the toughest, tallest kid, but I was the most craziest kid.
Jeez. Get out of here. The steel leg's crazy.
Pretty much. That's
Oh
what
my
they
god.
used me as more as a weapon than anything. If kids in school needed help, they just sick the little short kid with the wooden leg onto them.
Oh, you had a wooden leg back then.
Yeah, it was out the top part was more wood. The
Mm,
it looked like wood, but
mm,
then it was just one solid piece.
mm.
So they've advanced over the time.
Yeah, it's so from that like hard plastics. And I think there's one. He's like Bucky Barnes. Well, that I guess it could, except it's not made of vibranium. So
I
there's that.
wish. Then it'd be more fun.
Yeah. Hey guys, I heard you were talking smack. um, but yeah, it was sort of like jelly legs. It's basically what it felt like. It felt like jelly legs, and it took a few hours to get back into it. But man, oh man, when you start walking after having some support after a
Oh
long
yeah.
time, the whole world shifts for a bit because you're like the toddler who's like learning how to walk
Oh
and you're
yeah.
just all over the place. It was not a fun time, but yeah, I didn't. They I, my bedroom was in the basement because my dad and grandfather made a room for me because I had there was more siblings or whatever, and and so you know they told me I had to stay on like the first floor. I couldn't do very much, and so I didn't want to stay and sleep on the upstairs room, the living room and all this stuff. So I would just kind of like scoot down the stairs,
Hmm.
kind of scoot down the stairs to get there because I think they didn't want me standing up for a very long time on my legs because they were still healing and stuff. So it's either scooting down and then you're kind of crawling the rest of the way. I'm like, well, here we go.
Yeah, I think I was quicker and faster a lot of times when I was little without my legs. So I would run or hop more without my leg.
Mm. Yeah, I wouldn't say that for me, but it was an interesting time. I don't have again. I had surgery to get rid of the flat feet. I don't have flat feet anymore, but it's not. I was lucky to be out. I was glad to be out. That's for sure. I was glad to be under anesthesia and waking up. I can remember. I can remember waking from anesthesia too, and everything looks like it's a blur because I'm just it's just all over the place.
Oh
Once you
yeah.
wake up from that, it just feels like I don't know where I am, but I'm somewhere. I'm in a hospital.
Shit, I remember making a surgeon laugh his butt off. I had my first knee surgery. He was asking me about my leg, and I was telling him some of the stories, and he was just laughed his butt off. He said, "You seriously did that when you were little?" I was like, "Yeah, I did all these." And he's like, "Dude, you are the craziest guy I've ever met." I was like, "Yeah, I had to have fun when I was a kid."
There you go. My you when you went to go play for the baseball team, you said, "Look, guys, I've got it," and just
Oh,
take
they
your leg
made
off.
sure not to hit me because the first time a pitcher did, I literally charged the mound, and he learned a lesson not to hit the kid with the wind leg.
It's like Sandlot, except the batter's going to beat up the pitcher with his leg.
Yeah. Only bad thing is I still was wearing wool socks back then, so when I play soccer or anything, my
Mm,
leg tend to come off if I kicked it too hard.
yeah,
So yeah, I could had the ability to just stay where I was at, and I could just kick it off and hit it towards you if I wanted to, and make it look like it was an
yeah,
accidentally.
yeah. Sorry, guys. They called him the Louisville Legger.
And I said, "Whoopsie, it slipped."
Yep, yep. Gotta get that precision. Hey, Remrod. How's it going, good sir? It's going well. Um, but yeah, but yeah. So you played baseball, but did you play any other sports or
Yeah,
just
soccer for a
soccer?
little bit.
Mm, it's
That was
pretty
fun.
awesome.
So I was able to kick the ball as hard as I want and not have to
Yeah,
worry about feeling because I just used my right foot.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty awesome. I used to do flag football long time ago, and I would rather do flag football than that, but they can still get pretty rough
Oh
with
yeah,
flag football. They can still get pretty rough. It's like you're going for the thing, but then you try to go for the leg and you try to pull them, stuff
oh
like
yeah,
that. Even if it's even if it's someone who knows the rules of just take the flags off, they'll still some people will still tackle you.
oh yeah. I've been playing flag football with my friends, and one went for my right leg, and he didn't realize it was fake, and he actually popped it off, and I just kept going before I realized it, and I fell forward. I was like, "Oh crap!" So I had to sit there, wait for them to bring my leg over to me.
Yeah, dude, my man, just resting, relaxing, cover. Oh, knee surgery. Oh, okay. I hope it sounds like it went pretty well, other than you being sore. Funny enough, we have a gentleman on who has had her knee surgery, so that
Oh yeah,
dude.
I've had a couple knee surgeries on my left knee and one on my right that turned to be malpractice.
Oh gosh, that sucks. That's because what is it like? You see those? I don't know if you watch regular TV anymore, but back in the day, you'd see like these commercials like
Yeah,
mesothelioma and all this other stuff. You'd have like these lawyers on TV and all that, and I'm just like,
unfortunately, finding a lawyer who wants to go up against Centera in Virginia is nearly impossible. So I've been for a while, but I'm just gonna have to just move on because nobody in my state wants to go against that hospital.
yeah. Yeah, it sort of sounds like people trying to who've been wronged by YouTube, but know that if they try to go against YouTube, they're going to need a lot of money and a lot of
Yeah,
lawyering, which is a sad part about when something happens with somebody on YouTube and then they have to go to Twitter X to get something done, and even by then measure, you may not get someone who gets something done for you, and it's just this whole shebang of stuff. Oh, hey, thank you, Ramrod. I appreciate that. Hope you have a good hold on. I gotta write that down. Hold on, give me 1 second. And so what? So that's a. I'm not monetized on YouTube, so that's a Rumble rant on the Rumble site. Let me have it. What? How do you
oh yeah,
spell
that's
that?
what I did on my channel before I got monetized. I put my PayPal, which I don't think anybody knew except for one person because that was Grizzle.
Oh goodness. There you go, Ramrod. And that's what all those. So you see those little paper things on the
Yeah, that's
back
what I
there.
got here. My niece got it for Christmas. Journal
Oh,
track. Kind of
yeah,
stole an idea from as
yeah, yeah. I just make the post-it notes and I put them on the wall. Well, the funny thing is that with those, someone was when I first started out.
bless you.
Yeah, I try to keep it off the mic. Some people, some
I try to
people,
catch if I can.
some people don't. But there was so when I was first starting out, someone was telling me like your wall needs color. Your wall needs color, and so and I wanted. Of course, I was in the process of trying to figure out what I want to do for like people who donate and stuff because that's more of just like
Yeah.
given to. And so there was I don't watch their stuff as much, but I would follow Side Scroller podcast, and that every time we got Craig got a gifted sub or something like that, he would put a different sort of color for whatever it was and put it on his wall behind him. It was like, oh, that's interesting. And so I was like, well, post-it
That's
notes are
pretty
color.
nice.
Yeah, post-it notes are colorful, and it's sort of like the names are up there. And I'm just like, well, that takes care. That's like what two birds, one stone sort of thing. It's like
Hmm.
at least my wall is colorful now. Otherwise, it was just like this beige. I don't know if it's like a gray or whatever, but it's a little more colorful now, and that's not the whole of it, right? Like that's the whole of it right there
Yeah.
too. So, but yeah, and it was just one of those things you kind of see the idea and you're kind of like, oh, I'll take it. But yeah, that's what I do. I just because I don't expect it. Like it's not something. It's not like
Yeah, I
something I
treat
ask for.
every dollar I get as a thank you because
Mm,
that's their hard-earned money.
mm,
Some people out there we know about how they blast a person. Oh, you only gave me this, or that one particular person, DSP, who
mm. Yeah.
got upset that someone gave him foreign money, and
Mm,
then when we found out how much it was worth versus the U.S.,
yeah.
got really butthurt about it. It's like, dude, that's the hard-earned money. Who cares? I know how much some money this one person gives me, and it's not worth that much to US, but it's still their money, and I
Yeah.
appreciate anything they give. I don't care if it's only 1 cent. That's
Uh,
their 1 cent.
uh,
So I appreciate anything someone gives me. I'm
yeah.
grateful to it.
Yeah.
Them just
DSP.
being there and for me to talk to, I'm still grateful to that.
Yeah. That DSP is not something to follow anyway. He's more of
Oh
like
hell no,
the
he's a nut job.
he's the male version of an ethot.
Oh yeah,
Because I know Twitch is not known for things. I mean, it used to be like what the hot tub streams and then all
yeah.
this other stuff, and they still have some stuff on there. But I mean, it was just like DSP has, as I've seen throughout other creators talking about him, he has a sordid history where you're just wondering yourself, how is he still going? And how is he still doing this thing? It's sort of like it's sort of like the new question
It's
of
like
like
watching a train wreck.
a train wreck that survives.
Yeah, I know.
He skipped that one. Dang it, not again. But it's sort of like that question: what's going to survive longer? What's going to survive a nuclear blast? Is it going to be a cockroach or DSP? And
He'll be the one that survives, and the roaches will be pissed.
yeah, look, guys, look. I need 5 more subs, guys. 5 more subs. I can't. I not, and there's not everyone. Not everyone's like that, obviously. But
No, there's
you've
plenty of
got
us who are grateful to everything.
yeah, you've had some people that are like that though. Again, you have like the e-thought ones or whatever. I think um, while monetization opens a lot of doors, I do think that to some degree it's not. It feels like a cheapening on creativity because before, not the cockroach. It's true, not the cockroach. But before there was monetization on YouTube, it was just basically a place to upload videos to. There was no money in it.
Hmm.
There was no, you would just upload it because it was fun. It was fun to do. And then years later, when after Google has bought it, whatever, they start adding in this monetization factor, which, for some people is great. They've made their, some people are well known. You got people like Markiplier, PewDiePie. Obviously, a lot of people know PewDiePie, um, Matt, Pat, and all this other stuff. But the thing of it is, for as monetization is while it's helpful, it doesn't really it really kind of conflicts with things because I'm never too sure if this person is creating because they're receiving money or because they just want to create, right? There's always that two separation status of you're
Yeah.
not sure why they're creating. I mean, for me, I do this thing because I get to meet people like you and Tommy and Jack Tarlett and so many
Oh yeah.
others. um, and I just didn't see very many of other people doing it, to be honest. Usually it's topic centered and all that stuff. I'm all over the place. I'm a mess, but in a good way. Um, but the issue of it is that monetization has kind of what's a good word? Confuddled things. Like you're not too sure of why someone's creating. And yes, I've met a lot of different people's like I do this thing because I enjoy it and all this stuff. But then you have a lot of you have a lot of people talking politics. You have a lot of people talking gaming and all this stuff. And while they get into it because they want to, there's something about gaming like people talk about like Nintendo, right? Nintendo gets talked about for certain things, or you get Sony stuff like the what is the thing? Is it State of Play for Sony? I think it is.
I'm not too sure. I'm
Yeah,
more Xbox and I play on PC now, but I know
yeah,
more about Xbox than I know about PlayStation.
yeah.
Last
Then
PlayStation I owned was a PS2
PS. Oh yeah, that was
a
I.
long time ago.
Yeah, really long. So my family owned the first PS1, right? Like that the
Yeah,
cube with all that stuff. And then I bought from my uncle and aunt the P3. Now the PS3 was sort of you could play Blu-rays with it, so that's more
yeah,
why I bought it. Because I could put Blu-rays in it and you can play. So it was sort of a uh, gaming slash thing. I really haven't. There were a few games throughout the PlayStation history that I wanted to play. Like I played Crash Bandicoot on the first one, Spyro, stuff I could rent from the video store, and all that stuff. And then I'd eventually buy it later on if I could afford it. But yeah, there's that. My parents have an old Sega Genesis. Um, one game I hated on that was the Beauty and the Beast. It was
yeah. I
not.
remember playing that.
I could never get past the first level because there's certain berries and stuff, right? Like you get or whatever. There was one berry called Nightshade, and
Mm-hmm.
and during the first stage, it's hidden up there, like in the area that if you jump in the right way, you'll hit it and just instantly die. So you have to be careful. But the funny thing is that right under this berry is an enemy, and so you can either attack it and get hurt or all this stuff. And it's just like, oh man, I hate this game. Um, But I played Bubsby. Bubsby was one I played on Sega Genesis. I don't know if people know about Bubsby. More Sonic people would know about, but Bubsby is sort of this uh, one of those things of the past. Let's see. I had a GameCube when I was growing up. I bought that for myself. Game Boy Color, if you remember
Yeah,
those. I had that translucent pink, purple one, right? The like
yeah, yeah,
the translucent ones. Um, and then what else? The PS3. I did have a Switch for a time, but I kind of had to give that up because of financial issues. So there was that. Um, and then of course, I can't remember if there was another one. And then of course, it's just been PC because I have games on Steam. I have games on um, Epic Epic Store, and then I have games on GOG and on Steam. I have over 200 alone. So dang it,
oh
not
yeah.
enough
It
time.
just makes me laugh when I think about how many games that Greg has, and then when he told me when he tried to download all of it, I
Mm.
was like, "Oh God, you're nuts." He tried to download way too many, and then realized, "Yeah, I can't download that many." He ran out of space.
Ah, yeah, I've had to be careful. My PC is I've sort of built that from the beginning. My PC, I there used to be a store like I know there's some places called micro centers, but it wasn't called that.
Yeah,
And it was sort of like that type of store that right you could go and get computer parts and whatnot, but they closed like I don't know how many years after the fact. And I was just like, that's great. So I went there, wanting to build my own PC because you can buy a PC in like a Best Buy or whatever, but there's so much. They're just so
yeah.
overblown
That's where I
price
got my
wise.
last one. My mom, Tommy was. I was on DMing him, like, dude, I'm screwed. My
Uh,
A little over a year ago, my laptop crashed. It was a 1070. I was like, crap, what the hell am I gonna do?
mm,
I'm freaking out trying to find. I just had about a little over 1,000 saved up.
mm,
Still need at least another year or two before I even would have enough for a good laptop.
mm,
Just enough to get me by maybe a 280, 380, maybe something
mm.
like that. Still a few years away for something like that. I tell my mom, it's like she'll take care. She'll do something. She'll take care of it or whatever. I wasn't even paying her mind what she
Mm.
said. Next thing I know, she's like, I got taken care of. I was like, what you got taken care of? A few days you'll find out. I was like, a few days later, we go to we get package on the front door. It's a 480 laptop.
Wow.
I was like, I couldn't. That's why I pushed so hard on working on this channel because I want to repay her.
Mhm.
And then, of course, a few days later, my headset breaks, and then I have to go back up and get a new
Yeah.
headset. And she buys a Steely, the best one you can get.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I recently, I think it was towards the end of last year, my computer was not, my screen wasn't showing up, or something that matter. And so basically, and of course I asked Tommy for help, so thank you to Tommy for that. But basically I had to buy, yeah. I
I worked like
basically,
a horse on mine to keep mine going.
yeah. Well, and the funny thing was that it was my motherboard. It could have been my graphics card or my motherboard, but then once I got the new motherboard in, I tried my old graphics card, so that still works, and I still have it just in case. But my new one, I bought, was like, it's all my stuff is AMD based, not all of it, but majority of it. My CPU's AMD based. It's a Ryzen 7, 2700X. My GPU's a power color, I think is what it's known as, but I don't know the technical
Hmm.
term for it. Um, and the so my new board is an Asus, while my previous board was an MS1 450 Bazooka. And that's an MS board, but my Asus is a 550. And so once I replaced that, everything went good. And then I had another issue down the way. And um, it ended up being that my CPU was bad. So
Ooh.
yeah, I didn't know until there's a computer place near where I am, and so I took it in, and it was a weekend, just like, Lord, please. So I was doing much of my streaming from my phone, and um and when I went to go take it in, they first off they said, "Oh, it works now, it's okay," and then I take it back home and it's not working at all. So I took it back to the guy because he said to bring it back after I called
Yeah.
him. And when I went back, I was just there for maybe, I don't know, maybe a half an hour. So we're just trying to test and figure out what's wrong with it. And it just came about that's like maybe the CPU is bad, because I buy a majority of my stuff through Amazon,
Yeah.
because they do at times have the cheaper deal than, say, Newegg or whatever. And so it was, the possibility was, because I bought the CPU in like 2023. It's kind of weird that it wasn't lasting that long. So, and it's possible that, and from what talking to him with something like that, buying it third party, it could have possible that they refurbished it and said it as new, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful of that. So it was by a
Oh
third
yeah.
party. Yeah, it was by a third party. So I learned, but luckily they had another one of the same type, another Ryzen 7 2700X. I only had to pay $65 for it, and I was good. I was like, thank the Lord, because my I can't do everything on mobile. I grateful I can do stuff on mobile, but I can't do everything on mobile.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, everything, my CPU, my graphics card, um, it pretty much is main base uh, AMD, because during the time when I first was building my computer, everyone at the time was Intel, and I'm just like, don't want to go with what everyone's doing. So I figured there's AMD, because there's only two options. There's AMD and Intel, as far as I know. And so I went with the AMD part, and I've just never changed it over, because I just why, you know. Um, but yeah, I've bought. So there's a website I use. It's called PCPartPicker.com, and what the reason why I use it is because you can build a custom build, right, or gather the
Yeah.
pieces, and you see the prices individually and all that stuff. But the thing of it is that this website has a compatibility filter. So say you wanted to start with a case, right? Well, if you start with the case, it will show you the options of what boards can fit inside it, right? The compatibility of all this
Yeah.
stuff. And I use that to either, if something goes down, like the Asus board, I want to use that. Graphics card, I want to use that, so that everything is compatible, because you can keep your pieces that you have in there, and it will tell you like the power, what power it takes, and depending on what.
That's
Uh,
pretty helpful.
yeah, yeah. So let me just to show PC part picker, so that way you have an idea. Uh, here we go.
because that's what I was gonna do with the Meta, because everyone keeps talking about it. And I was saving up for because I
Yeah.
wanted to have it specially made, and as a thank you to everybody who helped me.
Yeah. So this is pcpartpicker.com. Pick parts, build your PC, compare and share. So again, like I said, compatibility guidance, right? So you can see right here you have your custom list right here. And
Hmm.
they have build guides too, right? Like you can go here, you have build guides of all sorts of things depending on it. Some of these are cheaper than you'd buy in store, right? Like 590 for this entry level. Excellent AMD gaming and streaming build, only 1300, or this is 1500. But they're all different sorts of prices, all different sorts of builds. But the biggest thing is that this has a compatibility filter, which helps you in being in line with the parts you have. Again, you have a Ryzen 5 760X, and then all the parts that go with it. Um, but yeah, I use it, and I'll link it in. Let me link it in the private for you, so that way if you want to go test yourself, there you go. So there you go. You can just copy paste, and if you want to go see for yourself, you have that option. But yeah, I use that for compatibility and all that stuff. And again, you can look at other people's builds for ideas or pricing, depending on the pieces, and it's just a great tool to use
Oh
uh,
yeah,
if you ever get stuck. So yeah, there's that. But that's what I use. Don't I've gone to Best Buy, but that's the only place I have left here where I'm at
yeah.
is Best Buy. There's no Micro Center. Those are more like other areas out where I am. Robert Hugs. There you go. Um, how you doing, Diana?
Oh, that's Diana. I've known her for years from Adam Crickler's channel.
Oh,
She's one of my
nice,
oldest friends.
nice. Um, but yeah, I Best Buy is so expensive. Just me. There. Yep. There you go. Just you. But yeah, go eat. I remember when I remember when Circuit City used to be a thing in the back in the day.
Yeah, I bought a computer from them. It was crap.
Yeah, it always goes to show that maybe buying build their builds or something like that is not always the best way because you can usually do it a lot cheaper.
Oh
Because
yeah,
yeah, the most expensive thing I found though for um, building a computer is one is the OS straight up, right? You either do Windows or you do Linux, but not a lot of games from Steam run on Linux, so you have all that stuff. Um, that's where I got my first computer, Best Buy. Oh, really? Well, I hope you didn't pay like $2,000 for it or something, because she's those some of those can get pretty expensive. Um,
mine was on sale and it's with a 480. Everybody was surprised. My mom got it for like 2200
yeah,
because
that's
with the amount of power this thing has, they were like that should have been much more expensive than what she paid.
yeah, 2006. Wow, that is a long time ago. Whew, man, 2006. I don't even remember. That was 19 years ago. Wow, jeez.
Yeah, both of us are older.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing was is that I remember when the Y2K stuff was going on, right? Like you
Oh yeah.
remember the Y2K scare,
Hmm.
and I had and I was old enough, but I had an aunt who was working at the hospital at the time, and she wanted me to come and babysit my uh, cousins. Um, so and all that stuff because during the Y2K thing, everyone was worried that the power would go down, the computers would go down, everything would go down. Eventually that didn't happen. I mean, none of that happened, but
Yeah, people
that's
were
the
working
worry.
on that. They were actually trying to prevent it because there was actually a code.
Yeah, but it didn't happen. Everything went fine after. It's just that was a fear, so everyone was like afraid the power would go out and all that stuff, and so that's why I was there. I just remember because uh she had lit some candles before she left.
Oh God.
So well, I was there, so nothing happened. I was just there late and all that stuff. So I slept there because again
Yeah.
she was working late at night. But it was just one of those things that I can remember vividly is that Y2K was a big thing and everyone was just sort of panicking about it. And and all that stuff. But that was a time, man. The '90s were a time, and
Oh yeah,
certainly the 2000s were a
80s
time.
were fun times.
Yeah, I wasn't until the late '80s, so I can't really say. Um, but even still some stuff kind of dragged over into the '90s until like maybe mid '90s, where it's like you got the boy bands, you got the
Ugh,
Britney
don't
Spears
remind me
and
of the
all.
boy bands. And how many times I had to go to NSYNC concerts because my sister, not NSYNC, New Kids on the
Backstreet
Block,
Boys?
because my
Oh, new.
sister,
Oh. Oh, 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 oh,
I hated New Kids thanks to my sister.
oh, well, I mean, again, it didn't help that you had like the Backstreet Boys come after that. You had NSYNC
Hmm.
come after that. What was there was another one. Then you had like I think years and years later was like One Direction came after that.
Oh yeah,
Oh my gosh, boy bands don't really seem to be a thing anymore,
thank
which is
God.
yeah.
It should never been a thing.
Well, they certainly got popular for a while.
Yeah,
Um, Now it's just sort of this mess of music. But yeah, it was just like a lot of songs I can remember were pretty big back in the day. Like you got Seal, you've got Hootie and the Blowfish. Um, I think Creed was pretty big during that time. I know Nickelback was big for a certain period of time, and everyone.
like Diana, me been on Adam Krigler's case for a while now to put his music out because we like listening to him sing
Does he? I know he does this. I know he's done a stream where he's at least sung his stuff out there. So
at
I mean,
Fridays.
yeah. But but you're talking about like album stuff or like
Yeah, we
Apple.
put his own music out. He's got a lot of songs. He just has to stop being a lazy ass and just put it out. He's got his wife who could produce it, but he just needs to do it.
Well, I also know he's a new dad too.
Oh
So
yeah,
I, yeah. So that's gonna take up his time. But you're not
and
wrong.
in all his own words,
Yeah.
that's just an excuse. He knows he could do it, and he's got plenty of time while the kid's sitting there, and the kid likes listening to his dad sing. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's being a new dad. Yep. Yep. Understandable. Um, but yeah, sometimes you have to get out of your own way to get something done. But that's unfortunately on him. Yep.
yeah, it's been one of my biggest encouragements to do my channel too. Him,
Mm,
George, Garrett.
mm, yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of FNT stuff right there. Um, but yeah, it's just yeah, just kind of going back over the stuff and remembering. It's weird how much you remember and how much can be a bit fuzzy to you because you're not sure on it. And Adam has so many great songs. I
Yeah,
don't doubt
freely.
it. Yeah, I know he's played some other done cover versions. I think.
Yeah, that's when he'll like, please super chat this because I'm gonna lose monetization.
That's true. Yeah, YouTube is very it's very draconic in its rule setting. But it's still the most popular place to do your stuff. So
Oh yeah, as soon
there's
as I
there's
get set up to where I can multi, I'm going to multi. It's just I need the equipment, and it just takes time to get all that.
yeah, yeah, and it's understandable too. Are you still on the laptop or do you have a desktop now?
I wish I could get a desktop, but right now I'm in my room. My upstairs room, I lost that when I fell down those stairs and had to switch rooms. That was because at the time I had a pug and G.I. Joe,
Mm, mm,
the one I was talking about, tripped me down
mm.
those stairs and ruptured a disc in my fusion. So
Ah.
they switched rooms. So yeah, he was a dog that loved me, but also wanted to kill me because he
Every
literally crawled up on my stomach and was wagging his what tail he had and was looking at me like, "Hey, you want to hug me?" I was like, "No, I want to kill you."
you go out in the hallway and you see the dog staring at you like, I'm watching you, watching
Pretty much. He had a gas that was like letting off a napalm next to your face. Pugs are
crazy.
just some nastiest farts you would ever have to deal with, and I woke up to it every morning.
Ah, oh, who put a gas pump? Ah, jeez. Oh my goodness. But that's hilarious. But anyway, it is the top of the hour. And so to kind of explain what I do. So the top of the hour, or power hour as I call it. what happens is that I set aside some time for us to promote ourselves because I know
Okay.
some creators do it like at the beginning of the thing or at the end of the thing, or sporadically throughout. I've seen a few do sporadic throughout, but I kind of do it at the top of the hour, so it's kind of like a timing thing
Yeah.
because I do at a certain point I do have to set up for tomorrow, um, and of course, and I also have a full time job, so I do have to get ready for bed on that point too. But not right now, not right now. But anyway, so I did put all the stuff I could find of yours in the description below. Yeah, your link tree and your Twitter. I put your Twitter X in your link tree because in your link tree you don't have your Twitter X account in there.
I have to
Um,
let Tommy know because he's the one that helped me set that up.
yeah, but so those are two separate, but they're on both places. So if you want to promote yourself or however you want to do it, the floor is yours.
Uh, Steel Leg of History. Just YouTube right now, playing games, learning everything I can to
Hmm.
eventually, hopefully, do my podcast eventually.
Hmm.
Just taking it day by day, learning the ropes.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting when you first start out, like how to do the thing or what you want to go for, hey Bob. And so like for me, I did streaming gaming too, but then I was like, it's not really hitting me that I wanting to do it. And then I
Yeah.
started talking to people about
Yeah, I'm
whatever.
learning.
And
I'm liking this a lot more. I'm enjoying talking.
yeah, it's awesome. I do free flowing. Some majority people do topic center stuff, which I can understand. But I mean, I've learned there's a much freedom and being able to not be constrained to what's going on in the news. Not that saying you don't have talk about
Yeah.
the news whatever you want, but it's such a constraint for some of those people because if it's a slow news day, they have to come up with something, right?
Yep.
Or they find something. And so you're kind of tied to that. But anyway, past that point, if anyone wants to check out his links are down below. His Twitter X is down below, and his link tree, which will have his YouTube stuff. So if you guys want to check him out, it's down there. Whether you're on the Rumble side, whether on the YouTube side, it's there. And of course, from my end of things, again, whether you're on the Rumble side or whether you're on the YouTube side, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or a follow. Anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated because, again, at the end of the day, it helps in being seen more, like all content creators want to, and it also helps in having other people on as guests, like Steel Leg, like Tomby, like Abe, like so many others. Uh, Before that, I mean, I've had talked to people from Australia, from Alaska, from Germany, from UK, from Texas, and so many different other places. So you guys help with that. And I just found out, I counted the people that I've had on. I just found out that I've had, I just realized that I've had on over 170 different
Damn,
guests.
not bad.
And I started doing so I started doing the having people on like 2023 November, but I didn't start doing the month thing.
Yeah.
So like how many, I have a calendar here and you see
Yeah.
like I have a month thing. I didn't start doing the month thing until April of last year. So it was
Damn,
just
that's quite a bit.
yeah, so yeah, my next milestone is 200, but again, guys, it's because of you that I can get to that point. So any help with the engagement factor on either Rumble or YouTube is much appreciated. And of course, I have a link down below. You can go down that link. You can find where else I'm at. I have a Twitter X. I have a email. I have a Discord, but it's mostly just for DMing because there's only so much mental bandwidth I have, so I can't do very much. But those things are there. Any of you, right, if you would like to take up the opportunity to come on, there's a comment section down below with either Rumble or YouTube, or you can go to the link below and you can find me up. I've only had one person so far go through my links to find me and ask, "Can I come on?" And they got on, and it was a Canadian of all things. It was a Canadian of all things, and he's a cabinet maker.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he certainly dealing with American business with his dad, which is where he got started. But yeah, he's a cabinet maker. He's a real good guy. So yes, one person started. So if you want to be another person that remark, link down below, comment section down below. Either way, I thank you all for being here. And again, engagement link down
Thanks for
below.
having me.
No, you're welcome. Yeah, no, I'm glad I get to have you on because I'm not I'm not just doing just content
Yeah, it helped
creators.
me learn the ropes, so I appreciate learning new things.
No worries about it. Because I know a lot of content creators usually stay within content creator circle
Yeah.
sort of thing, which is understandable, right? There's a risk if you go beyond that, but I'm telling you what, man, there have been people who aren't content creators. Some people don't show their face. Some have been VTubers, right? I've had
Mhm.
VTubers on. I've had people who are either in the military now or former military. I've had people with some great talents like Tomby or Panda Sub or so many others. It's a kaleidoscope of just wonderment. Now, yes, a big chunk of them are creators, but again, there's also non-creators too, and that's why I do this thing because there's more beyond the scope of just making only creators sort of thing. I want to get
Oh, yeah.
beyond because there's too many people, not
Oh,
enough
you would love
time.
to talk to Darth Call as soon as he's feeling up to doing stuff again, because he's
Mm,
recent dealing with the loss of his cat that he
yeah.
loves. Because just talking to him about all the cosplay stuff he does with Darth Maul and
Mm.
Captain Jack Sparrow
Ooh,
stuff he does. Just
nice.
check up his channel and you will see all the stuff. He literally went to an Olive Garden after a MegaCon in San
Oh,
Francisco, I believe.
uh,
Dana could check me on that, on which con it was.
mm,
And he literally sat at a table in the middle of a Olive Garden,
mm,
dressed up at that mall,
mm.
and had pasta and drank wine, dressed like that, and had the weirdest looks from people. But hey, he enjoyed it,
Yeah,
and you literally will not. He goes full into the costume, and
yeah.
he has Hollywood level skills.
Oh,
So
wow.
he is great. He's one of the nicest guys you ever meet, and you
Mhm,
will enjoy talking to him.
mhm. I'll definitely look them up after this because sometimes people come through recommendations like that, so why not? It's always hard to get other people though. I know I've asked, like, there are some people I've asked that are people I've followed to some degree, or have seen, being connected with other content creators, but it's always a name thing, and my name's just not up there yet.
Yeah,
But that's an extra bonus to this whole thing. It's not about trying to reach big stars. Everyone would be treated the same. I don't care if you're big or not. And I've had Nina on. I've had Nina Infinity.
I'll let the Sasuke sisters know about you because the surprise to the people like, damn, dude, you know a lot of people and you drop name drops like, well, I just talk to everybody,
Yeah,
and they literally have dropped into other people's channels just because I said, hey, check that out, just because they're
nice.
nice people. And it's
Yeah,
not because I'm trying to use them as
yeah,
anything. It's like they know if I think they're nice people, they'll check them out.
yeah. No,
And
that's
I
great.
figure if I'm nice and if they're good people, why not use that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great thing because I don't do this thing. I mean, yeah, I've said a big name, but I don't use it for clout because
Yeah, neither
it's
do I. I
it's
just like
it's
helping out people who help me.
yeah, it's this weird thing. Like I understand to some degree why some content creators ask people on, like, if they have a higher status, or whatever, because they want to elevate
Yeah,
themselves. But yeah, go ahead.
no, sorry, they really helped me out big time because I hit 100 sales before the end of the lower year of before my first year,
Wow.
and then before my birthday that following year, I hit
Mm,
150 because of them. So
wow.
yeah, they just put it on Twitter. Next I know, my sub count went 120, 130, 140, 150. I was like, oh, son of a gun.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more grateful to them.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen them. I know they're involved with the Rippaverse stuff, but I'm not a comic person, so to speak. Nothing against. I just
Yeah, they're also into horror movies. They direct those, and they're some of the sweetest ladies you ever meet.
yeah. I'm definitely not into horror though. I've seen a few, but I'm not too much into it. I've seen enough blood, guts, and gore to satisfy me for a lifetime.
I've been watching horror movies since I was 3 years old, so I love horror movies.
Oh my gosh. Did you so this it's a bit of a horror movie, but it's also like dark comedy too. Have you ever seen a movie called Dale and Tucker versus Evil?
Hmm.
Yeah. Did you see both of them? Because I know they made number two.
No, I've only seen the first, so I gotta check out the second.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. Having Alan Tudyk and the other guy.
Hmm.
The one so one of the things is that these kids Is he pro or anti? I don't know if he does in television, Amico. I don't. I never played with it, so something like that. Hey, Kismet, how are you? How are you doing? Um, but what is it? What was that? Oh yeah, in the movie, in the movie, there's a lot of assuming, right? There's a lot of assuming between the teenagers and them, the Alan Tudyk's character, not people. Man, yeah, I know. I'm not talking about it. It's whatever. Um, but there's a scene where I can't remember his. I think it's what was it? Is it Tucker's the big guy or is it Dale the big guy? I'm trying to figure out which is which. I think Dale's the character Alan Tudyk plays. Um, I don't go any deeper than Shaun of the Dead. Well, Shaun of the Dead's pretty good too. I mean,
Oh
the
yeah.
I've watched Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End. I love all of them.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's funny too because they usually use the same people throughout it. So, in what was it, the Shaun of the Dead? I think it was only Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. But when it came to the second one, Hot Fuzz, some of those people from Hot Fuzz came over to World's End, like
Mm-hmm.
the one of the guys that played Andy, and so many others. But yeah, it's those are just awesome fun, and some Walking Dead offshoots. Well, I'm not into much of the Walking Dead.
And Walking
Um,
Dead was good for basically a few seasons, and after that, it just sucked.
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, okay, you have zombie apocalypse, people don't know what's going on. I do remember I probably bought at least a few of the episodes the first season. And it's
Mm-hmm.
sort of like when they're trying to go through, like, figure out what's going on, they stop at that medical place, whatever.
Yep.
But then they really never explore. It's more like human interaction after the point. But then it's
Yeah,
like,
it turned into a soap opera, and then
yeah,
it's like, well, at least those are the kind of zombies I can outrun,
yeah,
or at least out hop.
yeah. They would have been funny. It would have been funny if The Walking Dead did become like Days of Our Lives or something like
Yeah, pretty
that.
much felt like it.
Lo, Yolanda, I love you. I don't remember who you are. Ah, Coral, Coral, why do you do those things? And sometimes zombies show up. There you go. Like the zombies, like the arguing is just until the zombies break it up, and the zombies just break it up because they need something to take over. I can't believe you would do this. I can't. Zombies. 10 minutes later, I can't believe you would do this.
Now, I do remember that one episode on Walking Dead. I would have been like, what's his name, who shot the big guy in the kneecap when
Yeah,
he was at the school. That
yeah,
would have been me. If that between me or you,
uh,
I'm going to make sure I survive.
yeah. Yeah, it's like the Studio C has a great skit on this. I don't know what Studio C is, um, but it sort of reminds me of that saying, right? It's not about being faster than the bear; it's about being faster than the other person
Yep.
who's running away.
Force me and you be the one trying to take my leg from me, so I got to make sure I take you out first.
Why does that guy run? How does that guy run with one leg and he's beating the other guy with
I've
the
learned
other?
to how to move fast with one leg.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. But yeah, I do know that the director, at least for like the first few seasons, was Frank Darabont. And if you
Yeah.
don't know, you know who Frank Darabont is. He actually directed both Shawshank Redemption
Yep.
and The Green Mile, which was kind of funny. He also did True Blood too, but I think at a certain point he stopped directing that and it was someone else. Um, but yeah, Frank Darabont had directed both of them, and they're both Stephen King movies, but only one of them supernatural-ish. The other sort of,
Yeah.
yeah. But those are probably as far as I've ever seen, those are probably the best movies that Stephen King ever had anything to do with.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually he had like what is it, the Shining,
Yep.
but the Stanley Kubrick movie Stephen King didn't really like because it kind of went out of what his book was. And then later on in the years, they did like a mini series through ABC, and Stephen King was the screenplay writer for it. Then I don't think it really worked out well. I know there was it Misery?
Yeah.
There's Misery. There's Kathy Bates. Jane, is
Stephen
it Jane?
King also did Zoo, which was not a zombie, but
Mm,
That was a post-apocalyptic world where the
mm,
animals turned on us.
mm. Yeah. Oh, you had the Stand. You had the Stand. That was a miniseries. And then you had Pet Cemetery and all stuff. But for me, right, it's not too scary or whatever because he's mostly known as the horror writer.
Hmm.
But for me, it's like both the Shining and no, not the Shining. Sorry, the Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption. I thought those were really great movies, and you get to see. I don't think in the Super Nintendo Jean Claude. Well, I hope he doesn't do his roundhouse kick. I don't want any of that. But the what was it? But I mean, I remember when I first watched. I think it was Green Mile saw first because then after that was the other one because they're both prison movies and they're both directed by the same director with of course Stephen King sort of behind it, but only one is a supernatural deal, which is Green Mile Factor. Fish Lips is my favorite content creator. Well, I don't know who that person is. What is your favorite kung fu movie? Hmm, I'd say what was it? Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Hustle is the one I
As if I
like.
go old school or not.
Yeah, all the Jackie Chan ones. I enjoyed the Jackie Chan ones.
Yeah, the Jack Chan ones. I can't really stand the Bruce Lee ones too much because learning what I've learned about him.
Mm,
But then you got
mm,
the that one movie. I always forget the name of it, but it was the black guy who goes to Harlem or Brooklyn,
mm,
and he's finds the Chinese guys who make the fortune cookies and all that
mm,
stuff, and realizes it ain't Chinese people making the
mm,
cookies and all that stuff, and
mm,
he's who's the master I am and all that stuff, who's Shogun or something, and I can't remember the lines because
mm.
my memory's getting crappy over the years, especially after my accident years ago.
Yeah,
But yeah, I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies.
yeah. And then someone brought it up like Rush Hour. Nope,
Oh
nope. What
yeah,
was
it's a
it?
good movie.
Rush Hour. When it kind of got the four though, it kind of started wearing
Yeah,
thin.
one and two is about all they should have probably done. Three, yeah,
It's a
one after
maybe.
that, and now they're talking about a fifth one.
Well, usually if you give something enough time, it can work. Like what was it?
It
Like
can
the
work itself out, but
yeah.
with the
It's
today's Hollywood, nah.
yeah. You wouldn't know, but yeah, there was that the Jackie Chan movies, Kung Fu Hustle.
Drunken
That was
Master.
Drunken Matt. That's probably one of my favorites
Oh yeah,
of
it's one
his.
of my
Is
favorites of all time.
yeah, is the or no? I think it was Drunken Master 2 because I know there was one before it, but this is the one where he's going like the steelwork and uh,
Yeah,
steelwork place, and it's like the British are sneaking in pieces of they're sneaking out pieces of Chinese history and all that stuff. It's like jade and whatnot. That's all I can remember about it. But yeah, one and two is enough. I agree. Yeah, no, I get that. I think three I was all right with because uh, it's just the characters and you want to see them back again. I like the pre-lawsuit version. I have nothing to know about it. Matrix worked itself out. Yeah, Matrix went beyond then working itself out. It became redundant.
oh yeah.
And
There
it
should have
became
only been one Matrix.
one Matrix, maybe the second one, but even then,
Yeah, I did like the mechs in the third one. That was pretty cool, but that's about it.
I think you were saying the movie Last Dragon. No, I think Last Dragon was when he met was
Yeah,
one
Last
with
Dragon
Bruce.
is the movie I was thinking of.
Yeah, the one with Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee in it because they both were in that movie.
No,
Uh,
Last Dragon wasn't the one. That last the movie I'm thinking is that black guy was learning for his kung fu master. So it's not a Last Dragon movie.
mm,
I
okay,
could
yeah,
literally probably find it if I brought up my Google
yeah.
movie list because I got that movie on that and I got it on my Microsoft list.
Mm,
It's like, yeah, I got it pretty much right. I even got the DVD. But
yeah.
yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, and see where plays Canada. Well, Canada is its own thing. Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, Bruce Leroy.
That's the name of the movie you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
the movie.
Bruce Leroy. Nerds. Hey, calm it down there over
I'm
Divinity. Come
fine
on,
with that.
calm yourself down. I'll look that up. Bruce Leroy, because I've never heard of it. The last. It just brings up the Last Dragon, is what it's bringing up.
Yeah, it might have been the call. I don't remember the titles too well. I just once I see a picture, I remember the movie. Yeah,
This
probably that was the name of it.
sometimes listed as Barry Gordon's The Last Dragon is a 1985 American martial arts film directed by
It's cheesy, corny. It's just pure fun.
yeah, cheesy. Well, I think that's what they say about what is it? What is the Russell movie? Big China,
Li-
little
Uh,
little town, Big China, or something like that.
yeah.
So Leroy Green, known as Bruce Leroy, has dreams of becoming a great martial artist like his idol Bruce Lee. His master explains that he has almost reached the final level of martial arts accomplishment known as the Last Dragon. Martial artists who reach the final level are said to be able to concentrate such mystical energy in their hands that begin to glow.
Hmm.
Only a true martial artist master would be able to exhibit the glow
Yeah, it's funny as hell.
over his entire body. Leroy doesn't fully understand it in possession of a medal supposedly given to Bruce Lee. Leroy embarks upon a spiritual journey to find master some dumb
Yeah, it's hilarious.
some dumb guy who supposedly is gonna have the medal and whose his master claims can help Leroy unlock the power of the glow. Another martial artist, Shonuff, as also known as
Yeah,
Shogun of Harlem.
that dude's funny as hell.
sees sees Leroy as the only obstacle to being acknowledged as the true master of martial arts. However, Leroy refuses to fight him when Shonuff's gang interrupts a Bruce Lee film screening. A furious Shonuff attempts to menace Leroy into accepting his challenge. Accompanied by his minions Crunch, Beast, and Cyclone, Shonuff barges into Leroy's martial arts school. The gang assaults Leroy and Johnny Yu, one of Leroy's students, demanding that Leroy bow before Shonuff.
The name is just great. You couldn't never get a name like that for a character today.
Who Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? No, I've never seen that movie, not at all. Who is the master? Who indeed? Nerds is good. Dorks are the ones you gotta watch out. Well, there's true. Beware the dorks. Everyone knows that. Oh goodness. Big
Yeah,
Trouble. That's it. Big Trouble in Little China. Thank you. I
when they start
appreciate
going to who's your master? Sure enough. Who's your master? Sure enough.
Meanwhile, video arcade mogul Eddie Arcadian sends his men to kidnap local VJ Laura Charles, owner of the Seventh Heaven studio where she films a TV series similar to Soul Train. Eddie hopes to get several trashy music videos he has produced starring his girlfriend Angela Varacco. Featured on Laura's show, the kidnap attempt is thwarted by Leroy, who easily fends off the thugs. He loses his medal during the struggle, which Laura recovers. Later, Leroy witnesses Laura being kidnapped by Arcadian's brutish henchman, Rock. A clue left behind reveals that the kidnappers were for Eddie Arcadian Productions.
Yeah, it's funny how this movie just made me want to watch it when I saw that.
Yeah.
I kept watching it over and over when I was a kid. Still do when I every so often.
Laura refuses to promote Angela's video in her program, but as Arcadian's men prepare to coerce her, Leroy suddenly bursts into the room to close the ninja. And Rex sees Laura once again back in her apartment. Laura gratefully returns Leroy's medal. Consumed with vengeance, Arcadian hires Shonuff to defeat Leroy and takes control of the Seventh Heaven studio, capturing Laura and Leroy's younger brother Richie, who has snuck in hoping to woo Laura. Posing as a pizza delivery man, Leroy manages to infiltrate the assumed lair of Master some dumb guy with a fortune cooking factory, but is shocked to discover that the master's only computer churning out cookie fortunes.
Hmm.
Leroy consults his former master for answers, but his master suggests that Leroy has known the answers all along. Not wanting anyone to get hurt in the process of achieving her stardom, Angela leaves Arcadian and asks Johnny to warn Leroy about his plan. As Leroy returns to Seventh Heaven, he's ambushed by an army of violent thugs hired by Arcadian. Leroy's students, led by Johnny, charge on the studio to even odds. Using Laura's bait, Eddie lures Leroy to dilapidated building where he finally faces off against Shonuff. During the battle, Shonuff reveals his ability to use the glow, his hands pulsating with red aura, and beats Leroy viciously before attempting to force him to acknowledge Shonuff as the master. As recent events flash before Leroy's eyes, he realizes that his former master was correct and that everything he needed to achieve the final level was within him all along, his entire body bathed in the sublime golden light of the glow. Leroy uses his newfound power to defeat Shonuff. Arcadian appears, verbally insulting martial arts power and fires a single bullet, which Leroy catches.
Hmm.
Before defeating Arcadian for the police, Laura and Leroy are in the studio where the two kiss. That's hilarious.
Yeah, you'll love the movie.
Oh my god.
Those movies were the best back then.
Oh, oh my goodness. That is absolutely hilarious. There's some movies. Those are the movies like it's like oh my gosh. There's a group I watch. They're called Djibouti Dubs. And for some of the stuff they've done like movie commentary. And of course they've done mostly well-known movies, but they've done some movies that aren't well-known too. And of course they did RoboCop, and they're just doing their commentary all through. Now they do have a highlights thing that they do. Um, and I won't show the movie, but I'll show what the channel is so that way people have a nope, Djibouti. There we go. Um, yeah, let me presentation. Um, but this is Djibouti Dubs right here. They've done like commentary highlights on Jingle All the Way, Gremlins, Willy Wonka. They've done a bunch of other stuff. RoboCop, all this, and it's just hilarious when they do it. They just you can hear them. Um, I really love when they did the one for Jingle the Way, and they do like Arnold Schwarzenegger. They just do, and then they do like the Phil Hartman uh, um, acts. Impersonation, all that stuff. It is just hilarious. But they do they've done some of like the what other Mortal Kombat, obviously, and then they've done the what is it, the infomercials on TV, like
Oh
the
lordy.
Kathy Mitchell and all that stuff. It's just hilarious. They're worth watching. It'll brighten your
I
day.
bet.
But yeah, Djibouti Dubs is one of those. But yeah, they've done on the RoboCop. Djibouti, no, Djibouti as in with a D, not T. Djibouti. But I get where you're going for. Um, Last Dragon is considered a cult classic. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that are considered a cult
Oh yeah.
classic. Uh, and the funny thing is, the majority, I think, a big chunk of cult classics are ones that failed at the box office when they went out. So a great example of this is Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's watched Willy Wonka. Everyone just it
It
didn't make it.
tanked.
It tanked. It literally tanked in when it came out, and that was like late 70s, 80s, I think it was. Djibouti, there you go, right there, Djibouti. That's how you spell it, Djibouti Dubs. And so you have a lot of those movies that have failed at the time, right? Like a movie comes out
Hmm.
at a time and it fails at the box office, and but they still become cult classics. And for me, it's a weird thing when you have people like movie reviewers or whatever, or big ones. You know, you have like
Oh yeah.
Angry, was it Angry Joe or
Yeah.
something like that? You have Angry Joe. I know Film Threats one. Oh, okay. Well, you have fun with your meal, and thank you for coming. I appreciate that. Um, but for me, it's like a movie. While you could have family and friends, and they could tell you, is this movie worth it or not, or you could have someone you trust to follow for a movie or not. But at the end of the day, a majority of the time, a movie has to go be seen
Yep.
in order to get because for me, I've seen a movie. I saw a movie called If. Now, if no one knows what If is, it
Yeah,
was
I've seen it.
it was John Krasinski, Jim. For me, I could get for some people why they didn't like it, because the beginning half of it is sort of it's sort of weird, right? We don't really know what's affecting the dad. We get hints of what's wrong with the mom, montage, and all this stuff, and it just feels off weird. But it gets to the second half, right? And I usually count the second half from like the retirement home on. It's this movie that's spectacular because it's no longer, if it's no longer dealing, the first part of it's dealing with trying to get these imaginary friends to
Hmm.
be transplanted on these kids, right? I that's the best way I can describe it. They want to
Yeah.
transplant these imaginary kids, but it's not working. And it's not until after the half part that we begin to realize, but it's not about trying to transplant them. It's trying to go back to the original kids. And that's when the movie changes right there, because it's not trying to force something that's not going to happen. It's trying to repair something. right? So I think the first
Hmm.
one was with Blossom, I think was the name, and the lady who played Aunt Petunia in the Harry Potter series. That lady, she played
Yeah.
Aunt Petunia, and so you have that scene where that scene, and it's just amazing because it's now reaching into nostalgia and memories and all that stuff, and that's where the true power of that lies. And for me, that's what got me for the movies. That you have all these different, of course, you have like very well known celebs. You have like George Clooney in there. You have Matt Damon doing a voice in there. You have Steve Carell being as Blue and all this other stuff. But you have this thing where, say, like Blue, and of course I know he's from SNL, but I don't know his name. And you have that scene with that. And I'm just like, this movie is totally changed. I don't understand what they have a problem with. The first half I could, because
Yeah.
it felt all over the place. But then it comes to the second half, and I'm just like, I can't I can't agree with that because this movie is changing its end, going from transplanting on to trying to repair with the past kids, and it kind of is in its own personal ways is again going from the child to the child that was, because there are
Yeah.
times where you're not really an adult, so to speak. You're
Yeah.
some people are a child stuck in an adult body because that's the way it is, and a lot of different variables of growing up in different homes or whatever you adoption, or maybe the kid just didn't feel like they're part of the family, whatever. You have all these different variables. And I'm not gonna say I had an imaginary friend. I just talked to myself. That's a different that's a different
Yeah.
story. But the movie for me couldn't, even though it had its mess for a bit, and again, it's directed by someone who directed the first Quiet, I think it was Quiet Place, was his horror movie, was John Krasinski's horror movie. And trying to go into this, which is more family orientated, it's more lighthearted at times, but it has an impact. And for me, when I was listening to these content creators who are or big movie reviewers or whatever, it just didn't make sense for me because I saw the movies like that. I get to some degree, but not all of this. And that's why I feel like at times you kind of have to go and see the movie for yourself because they will give you their perspective. And
Yeah.
your perspective and theirs are not going to meet
No, it never
because
is.
yeah.
You always gotta check it for yourself.
Yeah, and I get it, right? If it's studio you don't want to give money to, that's fine, don't, right? If you're really on that scale, don't. Don't play that game. But if you're really wanting to make sure it's a movie you don't want to see, or if it's really a movie you want to trust on someone else to tell you that it's not good, then maybe it's best to give it a shot because you don't know. Yes, I get the whole Indiana Jones thing or all this stuff, whatever. But I went to go see it and I enjoyed the movie. I went to go see the musical biopic, Better Man, and I enjoyed it, even though it wasn't a hit at the box office. But then again, we come back to cult classics who
Oh yeah, you never know what will be a cult classic.
yeah, and so and again, I get it. Numbers matter to a degree, but when those cult classics came out, and years later, it doesn't really matter much anymore, which is the odd part, right? Like you think that oh, it wasn't that great a movie, we're not gonna bother with it. Even 20 was it? How long was it since? It's in the 70s, so it's got to be at least like 50 something years for Willy Wonka, at least.
1970 and it's 1920s. Yeah, it's about 50 years.
50 years. So you got 50 years of this movie failed at the box office, and it's one of the most beloved movies as I've seen many people talk about. I mean, the music, Gene Wilder, what he does, and all that stuff. And of course, they kind of went back to try to for like the what was his name? Johnny. He played Jack, Captain Jack. I'm trying to think of the actor's name. I
Johnny Depp.
can't. Johnny Depp. That's right. Johnny Depp, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and all
Hmm.
that stuff. But William Wonka Chocolate Factory, cult classic. It's this weird thing you never know until later on. It's this weird thing, but I just can't trust people on maybe family, but I just can't trust people
Yeah.
of that scale to it's like go and see it. I'll give you my perspective, but if you want to go see it, is there. But I just I can't rely on that system because it's just it can be a lie unto itself because you're trusting someone else to give you a uh, a perspectual view, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, and I know that your bio says you do TV and film too, but I mean, from your perspective for that, what do you think on that regard? Since you kind of do that yourself, right? You review movies or film or
I
whatever.
check it and see how it is. If it could keep my interest, if I'm able to not look at my phone, if
Mm,
I fall asleep. I went and checked out the Hunger Game one, mainly because I want to see how bad it was going to be. Because I kind of
mm,
feel like it was going to be because the actress,
mm,
she was running her mouth. So I was like, yeah, how bad is she going to destroy this movie?
yeah,
And she sure enough did. She lived up
yeah.
to everything I was expecting her to do.
Uh,
But this was the first time I have ever gone to a movie where I literally fell asleep.
wow.
And I've never fallen asleep. I was bored out of my damn mind.
Jeez.
And I've never fallen asleep in a movie before. I've
That's
always had a movie, no matter how boring it might have been, I've always been able to keep myself awake.
mm,
But I was like, okay, I fell asleep.
mm,
About halfway into it, I'm out cold. Luckily,
wow.
I don't snore, because otherwise, a few people that were there probably would have heard me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I fell asleep.
Wow. That's yeah. I remember. Well, I think I saw the first or second Hunger Game. And of course Jennifer Lawrence was the main person of it. But I never really watched them after because I think during that time, the Harry Potter series was still coming out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just was, and the books were out. I think their books were out. I never read any of the books. I just watched the movie. But it really wasn't of interest. I only saw
Yeah, I
one.
even want to see Harry Potter, but a friend of mine made me go see it. And I was like, all right. And I actually found I really liked the Harry Potter movie. So I
Mm,
was like, okay, I'll see that one. And after that, I saw every single one that was in the theaters.
yeah.
Now my nieces and nephew, they love the movies, and my mom does too. So does my
Mm,
sister. So we've all seen that. I've seen every single Hunger Game movie. The first few were great. Then
mm,
towards the end, they kind of got,
yeah.
but they still were 10 times better than Miss Run Her Mouth, her version, because that was not good.
Yeah.
But like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers will tell you, it doesn't matter what I say. Go check it out for yourself. If
Yeah.
you like it, you like it. I'm never going to tell you not to go see something you want to see. And I'm not going to bash you for it.
Mm,
You like it, you like it. Because there's some movies I like that are horrifically bad,
yeah.
but they're my guilty pleasure.
Yeah. I
And I
think
mean, I've
that's
seen some really bad movies that are really bad, but I like them.
like a cheesy 80s.
Yeah, there's some bad movies I've seen that I really like that are just really horrifically bad, but
Mm.
I like them.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like Killer
Uh,
Clowns from Outer Space, and
oh,
that's a really bad movie, but I like it.
yeah. Yeah, that I never saw that. It was like on TV once late at night that I remember seeing that. I didn't see it all the way through because it just got kind of out of bit. It's a horror movie, so and I
Yeah,
think they made a game of that too, didn't they?
yeah. A lot of times I watch those kind of movies when I'm sick late at night and I can't go back to sleep, and I just start flipping the TV and I'm like, okay, I'll watch this. And then by the time I realize what time it is, it's about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta get up for school. And I was like, oh crap, did I stay up all night watching movies? Yeah,
Yeah,
I sure did. And then I'm tired all day.
it's insane. But no, that's pretty awesome when you find again. Like for me, I enjoyed watching The Green Mile, um, and partly because of Michael Clark Duncan. Man, that guy was huge, but he could hit it where it needed to be.
Oh yeah,
And especially, and the funny thing is he played the Kingpin in the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, and I feel he's the better Kingpin, even though the Kingpin, yes, the Kingpin is white and all this stuff. I feel like he was the better Kingpin than what was it? Not
muscle
the
wise, size wise, yes, but they should never change this race, because when you destroy the comic character, you destroy the comic character.
you can never destroy it, but you certainly can't do
Yeah,
very
it's
well in the
just I agree with the way Eric July goes when he's like, you should have never changed the comics. You keep it to the way the comic is, because that's the way the comic is.
mhm. Yeah, but those were the days, right? That was like early
There's,
Marvel, right?
there's
Like
plenty of big muscle bald head dudes out there that are white that you could have picked to be the muscle size. They
Mm,
just didn't pick him. But he is a dude that I love. He's one of my favorite male black actors out there
mm.
who I wouldn't want to screw with because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he would take my leg off and beat my butt with it.
I
Because if
remember.
I pissed him off, I know he'll beat me with it.
Oh man, I remember when he was in Talladega Nights.
Oh yeah, when he was. He also was in Armageddon
Oh, okay.
when he was up on the
Oh, that's right. Yep,
yeah,
Bruce
he was
Willis
all
Willis
the
and all them. Yeah,
hospital
yeah.
bed and he was just dancing around. It's just funny as hell.
I just whenever I think of the Talladega Nights, I just remember when he's in the hospital and and
Hmm.
and Ricky Bobby's in there because I can't remember something happened, and and they're having a conversation. He's like, "Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby! Don't you put that evil on me!"
Oh yeah, it's even funnier in the Armageddon when the nurse comes in with that needle and he's like, "Where are you going to stick that?" And she's like, "Where you think?" And he's like, "Oh crap."
Oh man, you and the funny thing is the guy started out as a bodyguard to I think what Will Smith, I
I
think was like
believe
a
so.
celebrity bodyguard, and then he became a. Of course, he married Amoroso, so that's a different story altogether. But he started out as a bodyguard and then became this actor who you had range, right? Like
Yeah,
he could act like he could act
he's
like the evil.
beloved.
Yeah, evil villain to funny guy to serious actor, uh, sad actor. Because I mean, every time, again, Green Mile, every time he's
Hmm.
doing John Coffey, he's talking the way he talks, and when it comes to the point where it's coming towards his end, right? It's hurtful. It is painful because you're right there, not you're right there with Tom Hanks' characters. Like, what am I gonna do? I can't destroy this, and you're asking me to continue this process, and he's like, you know what, I'm tired, I'm real tired, just let it happen, let it happen.
Hmm.
And man, that's probably um one of the most powerful scenes of the movie. And again, yeah, maybe not change the color of the character, but he still played Kingpin pretty well. But yeah, it's just one of those people where you can't argue with that too much. But yeah, there's plenty of movies.
Yeah, some of the best black actors, black movies were in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Mhm,
Today, it's almost like they don't have any true actors left that were
mhm,
good like the 60s, 70s movies because some of those were my favorite, best movies I've ever watched, like Harlem Nights. I
mhm.
love that. What are you gonna do? Shoot off my pinky toe? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And Eddie Murphy shoots that lady's pinky toe off.
Oh my
I can't
goodness.
believe you shot my pinky toe. Well, you told me not to do it, and I did.
Yeah, and then of course Eddie Murphy doing all the what was it, Beverly Hill Cop sort of stuff.
Hmm.
I think they did a new
One
Netflix
on
thing.
Netflix, and
Yeah, yeah,
I like it, but I don't enjoy it. It's not the same.
yeah. It goes again.
It don't hit the same.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it hit its point, enjoy what was, and then they try to bring it back because either they've gone out of ideas or they're trying too much to rely on things that used to make a lot of money, which again these studios
Hmm.
need, right? They need studios. I guess Netflix is its own studio, but these studios rely on money and all this stuff, and they're gonna play it safe, which is understandable. But it's like the ideas that are out there, like for um for the Better Man, which is a biopic of Robbie
Hmm.
Williams, an unknown musician. The thing of it is that the director of it, Michael Gracie, was the director of The Showman. Right? If you
Hmm.
ever seen The Showman, I don't know if I enjoyed it, but it was about uh, Barnum and Bailey, and the story is not really on truth because Barnum did become a politician later in life. So I think I don't know which side, but he did become a politician. But anyway, the point of the matter is he had this, he had directed by um, Michael Gracie and all this stuff. And it is just, so I went to go to this movie, just like one of those movies that, there's no really movie out there you want to go see. And it's sort of there. And it's sort of like, oh, you're intrigued by, yes, he's CGI monkey. Okay, I get it. But the problem of it is that it works so well with the movie from beginning to end. At the beginning, you're like, okay, monkey, get it. And then you kind of go through this whole movie and you're like, holy crap. right? Like I gave it a 9 out
Mhm.
of 10 because it was just that good. And there were a lot of people like, "Oh, it's not making enough money, it's not doing all stuff." And yeah, you could relate it to like it was marketed well. You don't really know who Robin Williams is, even though he's more
Oh,
known
yeah.
in the UK, right? He's more known in that side. But at the end of the day, that was a movie about someone who wanted to get out of the dumps they were in to become famous, and then yes, follow that suit. But it's just like you get into it. But again, he is a he is a CGI monkey, but it just works so well. It changes the sense of what a biopic can be. And yes, whatever with all that conversation, I do know that um I don't know if you know the musician, but Pharrell Williams did
Yeah.
his own sort of biopic, but he did it in Lego.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, and I had never heard about it until later on, like way past the movies out or whatever. But I wanted to go and see, and it sort of plays into why he wanted to do Lego, because it's sort of, he explains it towards the end of the movie. But it's sort of like those things where yes, if you try a new idea, you take a risk on, and it may not work, but at least you're willing to try something different. Right now, you have a bunch of movie studios who are playing it safe, and it it doesn't it doesn't work very well. Um, another great example is Bloomhouse. I don't know if you've heard of the studio Bloomhouse. They make those horror movies like Insidious and
Yeah.
whatnot. They did the making of the Five Nights at Freddy's movies.
Oh, yeah.
Now obviously the Five Nights at Freddy has had a lot of backing, a lot of years, and all this stuff. But again, you're doing a movie that's you don't know, right? And you do it, and it becomes it actually made, I think it made triple the amount it was spent to
Oh,
make the
yeah. They
movie.
were surprised how well it took off. They were not expecting that.
Yeah. Hey, Dana. And and of course, the Jim Henson Company was involved. They're the ones who made the animatronics and all that stuff. But it made its money back, times fold from the original amount was spent. And of course, they're coming out with the number two, which I think is towards the end of this year. Um, but yeah, it's just, hey, hey, Rar. But it's just one of those things where, like, if you're willing to try something
Raw. That's funny. It's the same as my initials.
raw XP.
No, RAW is my initials.
Oh, okay. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, there's not a lot of places wanting to try something new. And yeah, you may run into the stories that sound similar, or whatever. But I mean, did you really need a Gladiator too? I mean,
No,
did
I saw
really?
that. It was just a D level version of the first one.
Yeah, you when you have a eh, you when you have a movie like the first Gladiator, it ended perfectly. It ended the way. Oh, it's Diana. Hey, right. But
Hello, Dan.
The first Gladiator movie ended perfectly. It
Oh, yeah,
didn't
I didn't
need.
need to go any further.
Yeah, it did. It was a story from beginning, middle, and end. Done.
Mhm.
When you have a movie like that, you don't try to add more to it because there's nothing more to add. The movie has encapsulated perfectly what it
Oh,
wants to
yeah.
be. But you have people who want to try to do more of that. I can't. I'm trying to think of another movie where they only did one, but they were trying to do another one with it. I do know there were stories of people wanting to try to do another Doubtfire because Robin Williams always talked about
Yeah,
that
there
when
was
they asked.
always supposed to be another one. He wanted to do it, but he never could get it going.
Yeah, they never because it's like once you take his explanation was once you take the genie out of the bottle, how do you put it back in again?
But actually, I think he was gonna do it, but then he unfortunately ended himself.
Yeah, yeah,
That was a sad thing. He
yeah,
actually did a show not too far where I live, but
mhm,
I didn't get a chance to go see him because I wasn't feeling well or I had a surgery or something, and I didn't get a chance to go.
yeah. And so rough times. Hey, Jack. Hope your show went well tonight. Um, but yeah, it's just it's a weird thing for, and especially with TV shows. I know there's not a lot of, and again, I went to I went camping with my family. We went to a KOA campground, and they have like spots for your camper, spots for your tent, and then they have their own cabins, right? And the cabins are a little expensive, but we went anyway. And so me and some of my family members went to stay in this cabin, and they had cable there. right? And it's been a
Mhm.
long time since I watched any cable of any voice. Turn it on, went to watch it. You'd get 5 minutes of a show and maybe 10 to 15 of a commercial. I'm just like, is this what we're at now?
Mhm.
I don't know how many times I watched, like, there were more medical things, like, you'd see, like, the Cialis or whatever. I'm just like, I think I need to turn this off, but it's just like, because I mean, I watch stuff on YouTube. I mean, I've Brave, and so, you don't really have to watch the ads, but you go from that to going back to cable and watching all these ads that you can't skip. It is horrendous. It is horrendous.
I
I just
bet I got Premium because I got the Google movies things I share with my family. So I was like, I haven't had to worry about commercials on YouTube.
Yeah, this is why I don't have TV. Yeah, it's just it doesn't make sense anymore. That's probably why they play so many commercials because not enough people are watching TV. But yeah, it was just like, another 5 minutes, okay. Because I remember the movie that was on was one of the Jack Reacher movies with
Tom Cruise.
Tom Tom Cruise. Yeah, man, I almost messed that one up. Tom Cruise, and I know he did two of them, but I'm not sure which one it was. But it was like you do five. It just felt like it was too short to watch, and then they go commercial, commercial, commercial. They come back too short to watch. I was like, oh, this is boring. But what are you gonna do, right? You didn't have anything else. Um, but yeah, it's hard to kind of go back to those old things when you get bombarded with commercial after time, and nowadays on online you could pretty much watch something without
Well, the
commercials if
old
you do.
commercials were actually decent and fun and interesting. They actually sold you the products. Now commercials talk to you like you're mentally challenged, the way they treat you like you're stupid. And then you wonder what the hell were they talking about?
Yeah,
Where's the product? What they're trying to sell you?
yeah, yeah. It was
I'm
trying to.
missing a leg, but I'm not missing a brain cells. Well, I am partly missing some brain cells because the lady couldn't drive, damaged my
Yeah.
brain, but I'm
Uh,
not that
no.
messed up.
Yeah. No, they just want you to have a third leg. That's.
I'm not gonna go there on that joke.
I can't tell you how many times you just watch something that's like why is Cialis playing twice in a row? And they do it all like there's nothing wrong with it. It's like I don't need to know this.
I've been known to be the one that gives out too much info, so sometimes I'll talk about my staph infections on my prosthetic legs, and people are like, "Why'd you get to tell me that?" It's like, "Well, you asked, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You wanted to know. I answered the question.
yep."
Oh my gosh, but it's just a ridiculous nowadays. At least going back to regular television, but um, again, movies and TV shows. It's one of those things where yes, you're gonna have a lot of people talk about them and whatever, but with Steel Lake, we were waiting for the Steel Lake history. Well, he explained why he of his leg, but Steel Lake
Yeah,
history.
I'm
But
working on getting that as soon as I can learn how to do editing and help somebody help me do research because I try to do that research stuff and it's like I'm trying to filter between all of the stories about pirates. Like I don't give a rat's ass about the pirates.
yeah,
I'm trying to learn out the history of the prosthetics, and
yeah,
every time I try to look up that stuff, I'm getting stories about pirates. Like, okay, I don't care if rat's ass about them. I want to know the history of the making the legs during the
mhm,
sea lives and all this stuff. And I'm getting these stories about these pirate guys. Don't care. I want
mhm,
the prosthetics, how people lived, how they lived, did the life on the ships, how long were they staying on those ships before they had to get off? Because if they lost too many limbs, they had to go on to shore duty.
yeah,
And some of those legs they had were actually nicer looking than mine. The artwork were nicer.
yeah,
Their socks were actually their pants legs, and then they
yeah,
used a leather strap around their legs to keep it
mhm,
on.
yeah,
So those legs were pure work of art.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny thing too. It's not pirate related, but prosthetic. There was a video I saw. It was like on Twitter X a long time ago. It was like maybe the 1950s or
Some were,
60s. But were they wooden legs? I bet they
some were
were.
actually made out of materials. Where
Yeah,
they were made out of the more expensive materials, it meant they were very good at their job.
yeah, I believe it. Uh, where was I at?
So if you
Um,
saw someone with a traditional peg leg, that meant they were very crappy at their job.
I've come for the booty, but there's no booty left. Um, yeah, that's hilarious. But no, that sounds pretty interesting. There was a oh sorry, there was a Twitter X video I saw a long time ago. It was like the 1950s or 60s, but they would put like an arm prosthetic on, and it worked just like insanely well.
Yeah,
Like it
some
was
military limbs are so high tech that they cost over $1 million. That was a few years ago. That you can hold an egg, crack an egg,
yeah.
and
This
it's, don't have to worry about breaking it. That's how sensitive those things are.
yeah, it wasn't it was just like it was. I don't know if it was like the string police, whatever. But I mean, the gentleman lost off his arm. He was showing like he would switch the hand and it would turn into a
Hmm.
hammer, and so he would hammer it and then he'd switch it back. Take a puff of a cigarette, all this
Yep.
stuff. It was just this weird thing. But I mean, it was just astounding to kind of see it. And now you kind of see like the variances of like I think they make prosthetics out of carbon fiber, but I'm not too sure. I
I'm
thought
not
it
sure
looked like
these are made of, but the military ones are so high tech that yeah, I think they're almost connected directly to the person
yeah,
with chips that they have pressure sensors, so that your stump can, as you're moving it, you're actually
moving.
moving different
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. Because I know the better those things get, the better it will help in people not feeling like they're kind. Because some prosthetics are like the hook, and then you
Yeah.
got those ones. So hopefully, well, and of course, that be like the finance and production stuff
Well,
to
it'll
come
get to the
down.
point that you almost will be kind of like the anime Full Metal. They'll just
Yeah.
don't even seal off the bottom of your limb. They'll just directly link it to your leg,
Mm,
so your the wirings be linked directly to your nerves.
yeah. Yeah. That's the hope for it. But at least for right now, they're at least getting better to the degree. Because I think when you see someone with the ones that are just sort of like the hook, whatever, it's sort of like they can't really do much, or
Just be careful which hand you wipe with.
I've come for your booty, not like that. But anyway, it is getting up to the next power hour, and I think we're gonna start winding it down from there. But yeah, ouches. Oh, it'd be more than that. It should be more like ripping you a new hole. All right.
Yeah, you definitely will be ripping a new hole.
Whoa, okay, need to get back there. But anyway, anyway, so we're gonna do our promotion stuff, power hour again. We're gonna do promotion stuff again, and then we'll kind of do a few things after, and then we'll call it for the night. So, uh, your links are down below, good sir. But if you want
Hmm.
to resell yourself again in that sense, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm just basically, like I said, doing gaming for now, learning what I can, trying to get the materials I need to do multi-streaming, hopefully get to the point where I can start
Mm,
doing editing videos and all that, because I know people like videos, but with my brain damage, it's kind of hard for me to grasp stuff. And when I
yeah,
try to learn that stuff, I almost have to have someone show me, because I'm a visual learner, or
mm,
for me to grasp it, and it's hard for me to maintain that knowledge. So
yeah,
I have to repeatedly do it until it's muscle memory. So once I have it down, then I'm able to keep it and I could do it.
mm,
And I'm learning it slowly. So it's taking time
yeah,
and research, almost to the point that I'm going to have to hire someone, but that shit going to take money because
yeah,
I suck at research, and
yeah,
I'm going to have to find someone who knows how to do research to be able to do that research for me.
yeah. And that's always the fun part. Like for me, I can't. I've sort of slowly become unmotivated to make
Thank you,
shorts.
Dana.
Uh,
Yeah, she knows I spend too much money on my nieces and nephew, especially my little
but
niece Reese.
hey, now that's what makes you a great uncle. Just remember, not too much spoiling, not too much spoiling.
I don't.
Um,
She actually is more. She's like a school nun. Which I do something she knows I ain't supposed to for my health. She puts hands on her hip and gives me the pissed off look, like, "Uncle, you know you ain't supposed to do that."
uh oh. There you go. But yes, his links are down below. Yeah, they're two separate ones. One is just for Linktree, but it just has his YouTube stuff right now, and of course his Twitter X down there. But go give him a look, and if he's worth the follow, give it to him because he's a gentleman just trying to enjoy this. And then, like you said, later on when your tech stuff gets better, you'll probably multi-stream out to different places because for me, There are some people who can't do it technological wise, like yourself, but for me, with all the different places that are out there, putting all your stuff in one basket
Yes,
is
I'm trying not to do.
it's not a good thing. We've seen enough with YouTube. We've seen enough with Twitch. It's gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. But anyway, links are down below. Give them a check out, and all that stuff. So, but for my side of things, right? Whether you're on the Rumble side, whether you're on the Ute side, doesn't matter which one. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or a follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated. Because again, guys, not only does it help in being seen more, right? Like every content creator, wants to be seen more, but it also helps in having other people on as guests. I have had people who are creators. I've had people who aren't creators. I've had, again, having Steel Lake on, having Tomby on, having Zora on, having so many different, I've had VTubers, I've had all sorts of people, and that's what it's about. It's about having people on, and like at a dinner table or like you go to your favorite diner, you kind of just talk across the way. That's what this is, because at the end of the day, you have a lot of chaos out there, and it's really just nice when you just sit down and just talk about whatever and see where it goes, because it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of it out there, at least from my perspective. I might be wrong, but any help with the engagement factor is much appreciated, whether you're on Rumble or whether you're on YouTube or both. Doesn't matter which one. I appreciate all the same. And of course, I have links down below, both on Rumble and YouTube. You go down to the link down there. It's a link tree link. You can find my Twitter X. You can find an email. You can, my Discord, but it's mostly for DMing. Um, if you would like to take up the opportunity, come on, guess what? Well, there's a comment section down below on either end, or you can use that link down below. Any of it works too. I've only had one gentleman, his name is Slinger Games, come on through the link. He found me through the link, came to me and asked if he could come on, and he's Canadian. He's a Canadian cabinet maker. So come on, America, pump it up, all right? I gotta see more. I gotta see Americans take over. But no, it's a great time. And again, thank you, Steel Lake, for coming on. It's been awesome, obviously, and it's just fun to get to talk to other people like yourself. And yeah, 2 hours, man.
Didn't feel like it.
Yeah, that's the point. Is that it doesn't the again, when I'm doing this thing, if there I've had some challenging people. There have been people, you could say, that have been trying to get water from stone, but those are far and few between, and those are lessons to learn from. In the sense, when you have someone who doesn't really know how to talk well or is nervous, whatever, you can keep just rolling
Yeah.
out that thing. And so I've kind of learned from that. But again, it's about just being able to sit down and see where it goes, because I get it. I get talking about the 24/7 news. I get it talking about the topics of the day. I get that. Algorithms, whatever you want to call it. But for me, the free flowing of it is just the best. It works. It shows itself to work. And again, over 170 different guests. I think that proves
Oh
its
yeah.
point. So, but anyway, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern is my Pay It Forward stream. I go around to the Rumble side. I show a little love. Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm amazed by itself. I counted it yesterday on my solo stream. I was like, holy crap. Because my milestone next is 200 different guests. So I've only got 22 left to go. Well, actually 21 now. So, because I count, how I work it is I count someone's first time coming on, and then they get their own separate counter after that. So you know how it goes. Um, like that. But tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, I do my Pay It Forward stream. It's just going through the Rumble live stream section. I show a little love. I maybe give a donos here and there. I could do more with donations on Rumble than YouTube, because YouTube you have to pay for per character. Like
Yeah.
$2 get you 50, $5 maybe get you 100, whatever. For the Rumble, same 200 characters, whether it's $1 or it's $500. So
Yeah.
that's where I can do more with it. So that's why I do it over there. But then after that, at 8 p.m. Eastern, I get to have a lovely lady I've had on before. Her name is Kitty Flip City. She and her husband do the Flip City magazine. That's sort of like their Mad TV satire sort of magazine. Really lovely
Oh,
lady,
cool.
and all that stuff. So she'll be on at 8 p.m. after. So hope you will join for both. If not that, at least join for Kitty Flip City, because she's a very, can be very tough, but she's very kind as well. So there's that. But the last thing I do with my guests is a thing called questions from a hat. So what happened is I bought a hat from Rumble and I put some questions in. Now these are questions about anyone can answer, but sometimes they can trip them up. So you're just sitting there thinking. So what happens is that um, uh, you, my guests, get two freebies, right? Hold on. You, my guests, get two freebies. And so what happens is that if people want more than those two out, they gotta give a rant to it. Now I'm not monetized on YouTube, far be it from that point. So on Rumble I'm monetized. So if you want more than the two questions pulled out of the hat, you gotta give a Rumble rant. Doesn't matter the amount. I don't care about the amount. Just have to give it a Rumble rant. So, but we did get one earlier from Ramron Jenkins. Thank goodness his name is not Leroy Jenkins, otherwise I'd be able to do that. So that means that you get 3 questions total. Now, obviously, if you people want to stack it, it's okay. But if nothing else beyond those 3, then we'll just conclude after that. So I'm gonna pull out the first one. I'm not looking in the hat. I'm just feeling around, like they do that thing with the spaghetti. It's like, ooh, it feels like worms or something like that. Let's see for this one. So here's the first one. Um, oh, thank you for that. And I'm already over here. Oh yeah, of course. The first one is, I don't know if you want to answer this one, but this is, what is your favorite curse word?
What now?
The question is, what is your favorite curse word?
I usually say fuck a lot because I'm usually saying that all the time when I'm playing a game. Yeah, because I'm usually getting messed up in the game. And
I
then I
hate
have
that.
to end up paying my niece some money because she says, "Uncle, you ain't supposed to say that." So I was like, there goes some more money out of my pocket to her.
Well, I guess someone's going to Disney World early this year.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness! All right, here's question number 2. Let's see what it says. Oh, crap! I accidentally ripped it because I posted a note. Oh, here we go. Do you prefer the beach or mountains?
Never been to a mountain, so I prefer a beach if I can because then I can fish.
Nice. Well, I mean, you can have a lot of people there, so unless you go like the
I go to
solitary
the
beach.
docks.
Oh, okay, there you go. That works too. I know Liver for good reason. She keeps a check. Hey, you know what? Earn that money. Just be around when he curses.
Oh, she's always around somewhere.
Yeah, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the next dollar bill.
Yeah,
All
I'm not
right.
kidding. She is.
All right. Here's the third one. Unless someone gives another rumble rant. Let's see what this one says. This one says, "Oh, this a little bit of what we talked about earlier. What's a movie or book that changed the way you look at everyday things?"
Movie or book?
Hmm. Either or.
It's hard to say. This is not really a new movie, but not really old movie. I would have to say Bicentennial Man.
Oh, Bison. Oh, the Robin Williams one.
Yeah.
Huh, what about that?
Well, he started off as a artificial life, but then he became almost like a real human
Mm,
in the way people treated him.
yeah, yeah, and that was a bomb buster too. I think it was. It
It
didn't.
bombed the hell out, but it was still a great movie that developed a cult.
Yeah, yeah, definitely that one. Yeah, because there's also another Robin Williams movie that I don't think gets a lot of attention. Is that Death to Smoochie? Is another
Hmm.
Robin Williams one. And oh, well, you probably could say Toys too, because
Yeah.
there we go.
Thanks, Dan.
All right. Well, you know what, Diana? You know what that gets you. So whenever someone gives a rumble rant, hold on. So whenever someone gets a rumble rant, I'll show you. So we do the $1. Okay. Diana Francisco 57. Diana. Okay, I thought it spelled like E. Francisco 57. So you get your name on a post-it note, and that post-it note will go on the wall in the back, and that's what those are right there. Those are all rumble rants that people. Even Tommy's up there. Even Jack Tardlad is up there. Even Abe is up there. So many different people are up there that have donated, and so that's sort of my way of showing back. So we'll get. I already did earlier. He didn't have an answer for it. So how cool? Yes, I know, right? So give me 1 second. They're gonna get the tape off because I do put them on later. It's just I'm not gonna do it now. Obviously, I just want to get it on its thing before I have to get another one if another one comes. So we're gonna do one more question because Miss Diana has paid for it. So I'm putting my hand in the hat, but I'm not looking. I gotta keep it a surprise, hoping I not get one of the ones that were pulled out earlier. So here's question number 4, and let's see what it says. If you were a sandwich,
Oh dear
what
Lord.
what kind would you be and why?
Oh, probably ham because I ham up things a lot.
Just a ham sandwich?
I'm not. I'm a very picky, simple man when it comes to my sandwiches.
Hey, Rance, how are you doing? Thank you, good sir. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But you came at the end, good Rance. You came at the end. Um, yeah, no, you're welcome. So welcome to anyone who's rating, but we are closing on the end. So thank you for that. I guess again, thank you so much, Steel Leg. You're always welcome to come back.
Appreciate being here.
Oh yeah, there's always another time. You're always welcome to come back. Willing to have you. And yeah, NC, hey, how's it going? Yeah, you guys came at the end. You guys are a little too late. Now it's over.
Sorry, guys.
I feel like it's that it feels like it's that one song where stream longer. I'm not gonna stream longer. I gotta get to work tomorrow. Buster Brown. I gotta get to work. You ain't paid my bills.
I gotta help
Oh,
my mom get my niece ready for school tomorrow.
oh, Shadow. One very important that is Jesus. God bless you. Well, thank you. Thank you, Miss
Dana
Diana.
just did it, so I had to ask another question.
That's right. Gotta ask another question.
I was
You
supposed to do that to keep me here.
you guys want to keep me here? You gotta start doing more of these. That's the only way that will keep me here. Otherwise, we're gonna shut it down. Francisco 57. There you go. Right there. All right. So I'm gonna pull another question out of the hat. Well, who are you rating? Well, I've got to get there first. I'd like to be able to ask the question. I have to look it up now. Okay. Here's question number 5. Thank you. Hopefully it's not one I've had before. All right, well, here we go. What's the weirdest dream you've ever had?
It wasn't really had a good dream.
It could be like a strange dream or just something that was
One
kind
of
of
the
like,
weirdest dream was I kicked my leg off and it hit someone in the head and it freaked the crap out of everybody. But that was something I did when I was a kid, but it happened recently at my local grocery store, and it's like I had to ask mom, did I really do that recently? And then I had to remember no, because the new socks I wear are rubber, so there's no way I
yeah.
could have done it. But she's like,
Mm.
what the hell were you smoking? And it's like, Mom, I came and smoke. And she's like, yeah, you must have been dreaming. And it was a me dreaming of when I used to kick my leg off to scare the crap out of people. And I just, for some reason, was just dreaming about how I used to do that just to have fun.
Mm.
And I just had the weird dream of me kicking my leg off just to freak people out. And that me kicking someone in the back of the head was actually me when I was 3rd grade, where I did it to impress 3 girls to get a kiss. So yeah,
Wow.
I was
Yeah,
like, hey, impress some girls, got to kick my leg off, so I did it.
I think the only weirdest dream I've ever had was it was just one of those dreams where you just fall, just falling through like
Yeah.
space. Yeah. Or did you get the kiss? Is what she's
Oh
asking.
hell yeah! I just had to get my leg real quick before the teacher came and found out, and then he got in trouble because he tried to say I did it, and the teacher didn't believe him because I was a disabled kid, and she's like, "Why would you attack a disabled kid?" And I was like, "Man, teacher, I didn't do anything wrong. He's lying."
Yeah.
I was known as the goody tissue kid.
Yeah.
I played that up. I was like, "Yeah, I was a lying sob, but
Mm.
hey, I got the girls to kiss me, and I didn't like the kid. I thought he was a jerk, so I was like, eh."
Well, there you go. And the rant says my father would sit next to him at the bar, and when they were not looking, he put his teeth in their drink. No way.
Oh, it's even funner. Take my legs, turn it backwards, and I walk with two legs facing opposite direction in the doors.
What? Mom, what's wrong with him? Don't look, don't look, don't look.
Oh, I had a lot of those.
Oh, good. That's
I even had a kid who asked me what was wrong with me, why I had no leg. 'Cause I started telling, well, this is what happens when I was bad. My parents had my leg removed. The parent didn't like that too much. She's like, don't tell it to my kids. Well, your kid's a little brat.
See you later, Rance. Have a good night. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's why there's a boogeyman underneath your bed because he ain't behaving.
Yep.
I remember when it used to be like the stories of sniping and all this stuff. That was a fun time as a kid. But anyway, guys, this is the end of the show. Again, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, starting with the Pay It Forward stream, and then at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will have on the lovely uh, Katie Flip City. She and her husband are the owners of City Flip Magazine, sort of their own Mad TV satire kind of comic magazine. So hope you'll be able to join me for that. And again, thank you, Steel Leg. You're always welcome to come back.
Thanks for having
And
me.
and you're welcome. And thank you, chat, for coming here. And especially thank you to Diana. Those will be going up on the wall after the show is over. So hope you'll be that. So I'm just gonna get the next raid ready. And then confirm it. And there you go. And guys, as always, I end the show at see you, Bob. Have a good one. And as always, I'm gonna end the show with my video I have. It's called where's it at? Oh no, I went past it. One Day with You by Pogo. And don't forget to mute yourself because it will, like before. Have a great night. See you tomorrow starting 7 p.m. Bye guys. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. And we are off. Thank you so much, good sir. How do you feel? How do you think it went?
Yeah, but I enjoyed it.